Care Associates, you can help people.
could be the greatest mixing engineer.
Hey, and we're here. Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Hello, all newcomers. Welcome back, fellow Eternians. It is I, Emperor AP, and I hope you all are doing well. Let's see what's going on here. Hey, we already have 7 viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Today we are talking about UFOs, UAPs. This is going to be some serious stuff. Real quick, I would like to... Tiff, would you like to join me? Tiff is here. Hey, Tiff did a little wave. I appreciate you. Tiff's hanging out with us and may comment from time to time off camera. But what we are wanting to talk about is the recent continual updates for the release of UFO UAP footage in July, in the end of June, start of July. So a lot of people have been saying that's something that might end up getting pushed back even further in the U.S. government, but it is something that is still incredibly important to look at. This is confirmation of a lot of different footage and different documentation, which some of it had even been released years prior, but had not been officially confirmed or officially recognized by the government as anything serious. Now, the U.S. government saying, and other governments around the world, in fact, Mexico as well, saying, hey, this is something that we have encountered. This is something that is real, and we don't know what it is, and we don't know how to control it. So one of the biggest concerns that people have about that is that it could be some foreign government's technology, and that anyone who did have the secret capability to do some of the things that these crafts were witnessed doing would have immense capabilities beyond those of the current governments of the world. So if that's the case, it's going to be a very difficult battle to climb to try and figure out who exactly has this, how it's working. The next possible scenario is that this is something that is being created actually by some other foreign entity, not of this earth. Now that would be something quite interesting as well. Some other species, some other civilization that we have not yet encountered that is coming to us, is visiting us, is viewing us. All of these are very quirky phenomena. None of them have been violent, none of them have been anything that is particularly dangerous to anyone, but have been out of control by any of these governments. The most that has been able to be done is for it to be recorded and videotaped, as well as thermal imaged and I believe detected by radar. So these are solid objects. That's what has continually been described. These are things that our environment interacts with. So light bounces off of it and reflects back to the video. Electromagnetic radiation permeates it, affects it. And the things that are so strange about it, the things that I think people are quite concerned about, is that they seem to be able to do strange maneuvers, going at very, very fast speeds. So these things that don't seem like they're really emitting any exhaust that can be noted, and something that is compact as well as able to accelerate and decelerate in ways that are incredibly difficult, if not even impossible for today's standards. Now that's something that is just an advance. It is something that we've obviously seen is possible, so at very least that gives the entire world the ability to see and understand that there are things that we can do better. There are ways to achieve not just higher performance, but insane, outstanding performance for some of our own technology and equipment that we've just been blown out of the water by. And I guess for many, many years now. This is something that's been recorded. I don't even want to start saying the dates, but I believe for quite a few years, this has been officially taken seriously and actively investigated by the U.S. government and governments around the world. Real quick, I wanted to say hello, everyone. It's good to see you. Lana said, AP, the music is a little loud. I can barely hear you. Ooh, let me turn that down. Sorry about that, guys. I hope that's a little bit better. Thank you so much, Armin. I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much, Liana. Thank you so much, Edwin. Skitzar, how are you? It's good to see you. Jaya, of course. L'Entrepreneur, how are you? So we have Liana saying UAP/UFO. We have 8 viewers also. Thank you guys very much. If you can, like the video for us. It helps to spread our stuff. But we are talking about the UFO phenomenon today and really talking about how Aeternia is going to address that and moving forward. But there's a lot of news to talk about with it. So I want to go ahead and get into these comments. Edwin says, yes, there have been some strange events in our Mexican colonies. Please tell me about that. Edwin says, I have ordered a full surveillance in our colonies. That's fantastic. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you get any exciting footage. Leana says, good idea, Edwin. L'Entrepreneur says, of course aliens are real. Why would they not be? Discord voice chat, says Nathan. Nathan, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know that I'm going to be doing a Discord voice chat this time, but we will see. We'll see how the video progresses. Right now I want to make sure that I get out quite a bit of information to everybody. L'Entrepreneur says, everyone knows they are. They must be. So talk to me about that. Tell me about your thoughts on alien existence and sort of what the justification for why aliens would interact with us, if you believe this to be aliens. Edwin says, we have one video taken by my father himself, but nothing appears on camera. We have 5 witnesses. That's incredible. I know one of the things that has been documented by officials in all of this information coming out is them saying these are things that are witnessed by military professionals, by people in all different fields, but as well are generally witnessed and accounted for sometimes by up to 100 people or more. So these accounts are starting to get more and more thoroughly investigated. And this footage is now being taken not just seriously, but thoroughly as data and investigated data for trying to understand what these are. So we're moving forward in a really interesting direction, and it doesn't seem like whatever it is incredibly hostile at the moment. So let's hope that continues. And more important than that, let's hope that this is something that we can learn from and benefit from instead of just directly, outwardly, like attacking and provoking. So that's something that I am excited to hear more about and to come to understand what the Pentagon in the U.S. And other governments have come out with regarding the UFO UAP situation. Edwin says, we have one video taken by my father himself, but nothing appears on camera, and we have 5 witnesses. Ooh, that's crazy. Edwin, how do you feel about that? How do you feel knowing that you've witnessed something that is out of the technological grasps of humanity, potentially? Jaya says, AP, I think you spelled Le Emperor's name wrong. Think I pronounced it. My apologies. If I did pronounce it incorrectly, please let me know. Leana says, I saw a UFO about 25 years ago. It was at a low altitude, so there's no mistaking for anything else. That's incredible, Leana. What was it like? Tell me about the situation. Tell me about the experience. It is interesting now for governments to be opening up about this idea and really talking about the concept seriously. I think it is going to provide a lot more information on the subject, and I think it's going to be something that really changes the way that we as a society start to think about life outside our planet, potentially even just the ability for what our technology can do. I talked a little bit about that earlier. Edwin says, most of our colonies are in a mild panic. People are stockpiling supplies, and it's affected our economy. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope everything recovers and goes back to normal in your nation. I will say, I wouldn't be too concerned. If it was, an alien race, if it is a a group that is specifically trying to target um, target these different advanced technologies around the world, being world militaries, things like that. If these beings were alien in nature and were targeting us, I don't think it would be violently. I think they would have very little to actually gain from us, other than their own sheer interest in us. If they're that much more advanced than us, our resources maybe, but there are probably just other planets that they could also get those from that aren't nearly as inhabited. Um, they could probably even just generate most of the resources that they need themselves from collecting things by just traveling around in outer space, going to many different worlds, and having drones that do that. So one of the things that is brought up is, are these things drones? Are these things, no matter where they're from, are they drones? And I think that's probably the case, being that um, anything that was actually physically moving through that space and was accelerating that rapidly within these high velocities, and within what should be a ton of resistance to going that fast, going hypersonic speeds. That's something that would devastate the human body, or I think any biological body, with just the amount of force exerted on it. So unless there is something that's able to mitigate that, which would be very interesting technology, it is important to note that more than likely there isn't any living being in there, or at least not to how we regard it. Um, Having technology the way that we've advanced it now, and having drone capabilities the way we do, makes us think of artificial life potentially as being one of the types or considerations um, for what extraterrestrial life might look like, because you have to travel all these many years to reach different places, unless you have advanced technology somehow that can travel you faster than the speed of light. There are plenty of difficulties and concerns with what surviving a trip like that might look like. So for aliens coming here, you would really want to think about these artificial beings, these things that either may be made by another race that are now themselves sentient, or something that potentially is developed as a way of communicating, of transferring the consciousness of these extraterrestrial beings to us, very similarly to just a controllable robot, a drone in and of itself. So those are exciting things. Those are things that are very concerning as a nation. I think everybody wants to go kind of on a red alert when you hear that there's something so much more capable than you out there. Because we like to think of ourselves as these great and powerful beings, and we like to think of ourselves as very knowledgeable in what is possible. And then all of a sudden we run into something that we have no idea what it is and why it occurs and how it has developed. And we sit back and realize that there's plenty that we don't know. And many of the times, the opening up of those answers leads to a million more questions. So as we continue through that, as we continue to try and understand what the heck these things are, and get new information out from world governments, I think it's really important to know that we are progressing quickly as a society. And as we continue to expand ourselves, as we continue to grow, not only as the Empire of Aeternia, but as the sum of humanity, I think it's important to remember that it's an exponential growth. It's something that is going to get better and better, quicker and quicker. So coming to understand what these things are right now feels insane, but I'd say give it a few years. Let's see how much data we can get on these things, and what we can actually, how we can probe them safely and securely to make sure that we know everything we can know about them. I'm sure now that this is starting to be released, there may have already been people in the government, in the physics community, engineering community, who have been tackling this concept with some of the data that they've been given about these craft. But now that it's opened up, I'm sure a lot more academics are going to get involved in dissecting this work and trying to make sense of a phenomenon that we don't understand. Okay, so we have some more comments. Jaya, going down. Evan joined us. What's up, Evan? How are you? It's good to see you. Leona says, I just got out of the woods from hunting. It was dark outside. I saw the UFO out of the corner of my eye. It flew silently across the sky. Leona said, I put my rifle up to my shoulder, lifted it through the rifle scope, and saw the aliens that were flying in it. Insane. How fast do you think it was traveling, or was it stationary? That's incredible. What did they look like? Empting says, hey, have not tuned into a stream for a while. It's good to see you, Emptings. Were you going by another name previously? Please let us know. As well, I appreciate you subscribing and helping us out and checking out the channel. We have been growing a lot, and there's a lot of updates to get to. Frog says, space orangutan. Yep, I imagined Frog would be all about spreading orangutanism to other species. That would be an interesting thing to discuss. Everything says 7 viewers. Nice. Absolutely. And I want to thank you guys for being here. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit tonight, but I just really wanted to say that as the channel grows, as the channel continues, when we see this viewership go up, when we see these chats go up, it helps out a ton for us trying to move forward with land, for us trying to keep monetization. Thank you. Tiff's making hot chocolate. So excited. Thank you, Tiff. What's up? Okay, so as we continue to grow, as we continue to move forward, all of this helps to keep our channel growing and keep us where we need to be. It's a struggle to get up to that monetization. As far as the 4,000 watch time hours, that's a velocity. That's a amount of viewers per set of time. So if you don't consistently have some growth, and there is a specific floor of growth you must reach consistently in order to surpass YouTube's monetization requirements. Ooh, that's ceramic. I would put it in glass first. The measuring cup. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Yeah, perfect. I'm attempting to assist off screen. I wish you guys could see. I need to switch the angle or something. Frog says, imagine an alien joins the stream and decides to explain everything. I would love that. If it is aliens, please tap into the stream and let us know what's happening. From a curious human. I would appreciate it. So one of the things that we've been doing in particular, I'm going to get back to the aliens and UFO, UAP stuff in a minute, but we have been growing on Twitter, and I want to thank you guys so much for that. We have 120 followers right now. That's incredible for us. We have been on and off of Twitter, and trying to build up more and more momentum with it, and I think we've gotten some decent acceptance in the community. It was really hard initially going out, but now we'll get a few likes on things, we'll get a few people messaging back and forth with us, so I asked to please help us keep building that community, and please help us to understand what you guys want to see better there. The questions like these, in talking specifically about UFOs, UAPs, talking about all of this incredible technology, whether it's foreign or domestic, is something that isn't just crucial to a macronation. You know, you think, well, all of these very large entities, all these things that are so much more advanced than I am as a micronation, can't even understand the technology they're looking at. So how could I be able to do that against these macronations that are studying it? And I would say it's definitely hard technologically to do so. But I would say that advancing yourself and advancing your understanding of a lot of the concepts that would go on with this, and in keeping up with the latest research, is the best way to go about it. The more informed you can be, and the more you can understand situationally how to solve problems in relation to this, is what pays off. So if you're interested in learning about science or math, I highly, highly recommend it for your micronation, for yourself. Um, Micronations are things that need technology. They need the ability to grow and shape and change and adapt to the rising cost of survival and of development for themselves and their communities. So having a background in some technological capabilities will assist in that. Edwin says, I'm working while watching. Congratulations, Edwin. You have unlocked the success and duress achievement, where you hang out on the stream scared about aliens and you still make money. Impressive. Anything says, I'm doing a game development. Congratulations. And things, is it about UFOs or UAPs? Frog says, UFO sightings and UFO news has just skyrocketed. Absolutely. Impting said, oh wow. Liana said, I estimate that around 55, 60 miles per hour, the aliens were pale white, were a thin build, had pale white skin, dark, maybe black eyes, and had platinum blonde hair. Interesting. What do you think, what do you think made them go at that speed? Like, that's so interesting. As well, was it like a window? Like, did they have a window, or were they just out in the open air? How did that work? That's interesting. Did you look like a fighter pilot or something? Imthing says, sounds like Chad's, lol. Imthing says, skinny white, platinum blonde, nice. Jaya says, the UFOs are Marvel's Eternals. They came back for us humans. Respectable. I appreciate the show reference. Yeah, I think it is an interesting thing. People have floated the idea of, like, well, what if it's people from the future? What if it's us? And that's an interesting concept. I feel like if it's us to that degree, it's our far, 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 far along descendants. And I think it would probably be such a drastic shift between their society and who they are, even potentially genetically, than us. So I would say that's still very alien to us, that's still very foreign to us, and wouldn't be something that we would be able to comprehend, even if it were from this planet, you know. It might be easier, in fact, to understand aliens that traveled from another star system rather than hyper-dimensional, time-traveling humans from the future. That would be quite shocking. And I think if that is a possibility that gets brought more and more to the forefront, if there seems to be any evidence for that, which I think would be really hard to get. If it were some sort of capability like that, moving faster than the speed of light should predicate or allow time travel, but that's such a weird thing. That's too much to get into right now, but trying to understand what these things are, I think, is better taken from the most logical approach and then moving forward. So most close to home, it's something on the earth. There's something on the earth, some government, some society of some things that is developing this craft and is using it. The next thing would be something from outer space. It could be drones. It could be drones from another civilization that are coming to take a look at us and are leaving. the next potential thing, getting crazier and crazier. So I feel like trying to start with those basics, trying to start with what is the simplest explanation we could come up with, even though they are all very wild in and of themselves, is something that's important to take a look at, because it's real news now. It is something that is declared. It's something that's important to study, and now it will allow us to continue to advance. I know personally for the Empire of Aeternia and what we are trying to do as a nation, we are going to be moving forward with advancements in our own technology and developing that and trying to bring it to you. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. The biggest thing that we're going to be trying to develop for ourselves in the short term are feasible and reliable products that will allow us to measure our environment more accurately, that will allow us to store energy more easily for ourselves, to be more energy independent, and as well to be able to design and manufacture our own supplies for doing those things. So as we go along and as we continue to develop that, I hope the Aeternian technological industry will start to take off. That's something that I hope to develop for us, and I hope to have designed into the future for us, because it is important to take a stand with your understanding of the world, and no matter what it is you're interested in, it's exciting to be able to pursue growth in that and to be able to show the benefits of that. Thank you, I appreciate it. We got hot chocolate. Also, you guys, I didn't know if you knew, it's the day before my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday. We might hit it on stream tonight, my birthday. I'm so excited. That's why Tim's being so super sweet to me. She's always so super sweet to me, but she's being especially super sweet to me today. And it made me very happy. Tiffany's baby and I love it. It's good. I'm getting spoiled out here. Oh gosh. Leanna said, this generally describes Pleiadians. Not sure why they flew that slow. Maybe it's because we don't have any serious military bases near here. Interesting. That's cool. Impting said, they are all dads returning from the milk store. I love that one, Impting. That one was solid. They all said, hey, you kiddo. And they're all, what is it, Timmy Turner's dad from Fairly Odd Parents. Hey there, Timmy. Leanna said, this generally describes Pleiadians. Frog says, it would be cool to have my descendants clap alien cheeks, so I'd have alien descendants. I think that's cool. Yeah, potentially. This is something that would be interesting to discuss in the future. And I can't wait for this report to come out. That's the big thing that is the next update for this. There should be a report coming out end of June, unless it gets pushed back, that should allow for us to get a lot more information on this. So stay tuned. We're going to make sure to cover that once it comes out then. Hey, Nathan said, yo, AP was good. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much, Nathan. I appreciate that. If you guys don't know, Nathan is a part of our government. He is a press noble for the House of Others. I am so excited to have him here, and I'm so excited to be talking about this, celebrating my birthday the day before with you guys here, and that means a lot. Frog says, happy early birthday. Thank you so much. Jai says, well, I think we should prepare for anything, but we shouldn't start completely believing something based on an assumption. All we certainly know about these things, they fly. That's very knowledgeable, Jai. I think absolutely. Taking the smallest, the most accurate pieces of knowledge you have about something you don't understand, and then trying to build from that and test your hypothesis is important. So yeah, don't lose sight of what's actually true to go off and chase something that is very fantastic. Definitely make sure to take your approaches when you study phenomena very, very carefully and with as much skepticism as possible before proceeding forward with any evidence of any kind. Leanna says, greetings, Nathan. Frog says, happy early birthday. Thank you so much. Impting said, happy early birthday. Leanna said, happy birthday, and did a whole bunch of cool emojis. I appreciate it. Party emojis. Nathan said, greetings, Leanna. Jaya says, happy early birthday. Zarya said, happy birthday. Hey, thank you so much, Zarya. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Uh, FLD said, Nathan says his birthday is tomorrow. Yeah, but it's great. Zarius put like little clown thingies. Hello, Zarius, good to see you. Edwin says the United Empire has now become a program for food and supplies for our citizens in quarantine. Ooh, tell us more about that. I hope it is working out well for you, and I hope it supplies some benefit. So yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be developing. Excuse me. There's a lot that we're going to be developing for our nation, and I'm excited to be sharing that with you all. Edwin did two party confetti things and a birthday cake. Hey, I appreciate you. I'm excited for a birthday cake tomorrow. Yo, I love chocolate cake. It's my favorite thing. Not my favorite thing ever, but my favorite type of cake for birthday cake. So I'm gonna be getting a beautiful chocolate cake. I'm super excited about it. Gonna hit it up. Leanna said, greetings, Zaria. It's good to see you, Leanna. I appreciate you supporting us and, again, continuing to help out with the chat. You're always very focused in on it. You're always making sure to be kind to everyone that joins the Aeternian community. And that means a lot. I appreciate you. Real quick, I wanted to show off a little bit about our Etsy. So our Etsy's grown quite a bit. We had 25 orders, everybody. That's a big milestone for us. That's something that we take a lot of pride in because it's hard. It's hard to develop a micronation and to keep it consistently supplied and growing. So as we move continually on our way to monetization, continually on our way to our land goal. This means a lot, and I want you all to know that. Let me check out our notifications. Let's see if anybody hit up our post. Hey, there we go. Micronations retweeted it. Very nice. Okay, cool. And so yeah, I appreciate you guys helping us out on Twitter. This is one of those things where, as we continue to move forward, we have, let's see, $582.99 out of $10,000 for our land purchase funding goal. And that's something that, as we continue forward, I want to make sure fits our growth and our development as a nation. So there's going to be a lot of automation stuff that's going to be coming to Aeternia. There's going to be a lot of improvements as far as taking care of the day-to-day that we're going to have. So I am excited for all of that, and I cannot wait to help forward that and to help make that a staple of Aeternian society, and hopefully to encourage that in micronationalism. So Frog says, are you going to hang out with Jet tomorrow? Great question, Frog. I sure am. Jet and I are very good friends, and he is coming to support me on my birthday. It means a lot, and I am super excited to see him. I, in fact, spent his birthday with him not too long ago, so that was a treat. I got to hang out with, one of my best friends. It was incredible. And so yeah, we're going to be hanging out tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a big event. We're going to be crawfish boiling. That's going to be great. I'm from South Louisiana, if you all didn't know. And so in South Louisiana, crawfish boiling is a big tradition. It's a big, almost like a familial, like cultural event. You all sit around, you boil a crawfish, you have them on big trays, you eat them together. It's very fun, and it's something that really, really reminds me of my childhood. And so last year we did it. I had a ton of fun with it. We celebrated, we talked, we laughed. And then this year I wanted to do the same thing. So we're in a little bit of a different place, but we are still going to be doing it, and I am super excited about it. We're going to have that, we're going to have cake, and then kind of have a small afternoon, just a nice get together with everybody, and to be thankful for what we have and be excited for the future. Hanging out with like a close group of people, especially after COVID, is really difficult. COVID's still going on, but in the allowance of the aftermath that we've been going through, is something that makes me feel fortunate, makes me feel blessed that we haven't had as big a damage in Aeternia as others have during the COVID crisis, and now are being able to have festivities and have celebrations that hopefully, as we continue to grow further and further from the height of the pandemic, we will be able to start accessing you all more frequently and starting to have more and more effect on the community, not just through cyberspace, but through physical space as well, and really trying to reach out and access different communities. So we have a few things that I want to get to, but we're going to talk to the chat real quick. Edwin says, a little late, but our citizens need supplies. Please, I hope it can encourage people to not buy so much as they will receive the proper amount of supplies. Interesting. I hope everybody does well and is able to effectively deliver those supplies. Leona said, greetings to Tiffany. Tiffany, would you like to say hello?
Greetings.
Hey, just hanging out. The Kingdom of Annie said hi. Hello, Kingdom of Annie. It's good to have you. You wanna hang out? You sleepy? Oh, Tiff's sleepy. Emptying says, I gotta go now. Someone's calling me, but the stream is fun. Great. Tune in later. And great. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see you. And yeah, we'll probably be hanging out for a little bit. So if you can later, we would love to see you. Kingdom of Annie said, hello. Hey, Kingdom of Annie. It's good to see you. We've been talking about aliens today. We've been talking about UFOs, UAPs, if they are aliens, if they're, just technologies from another country. We've been talking about all the realness, all the conspiracies, everything in between. And what we're ultimately trying to do is to tell everybody it's exciting, but also to make sure that you take everything with slow, gradual development. Understand what the facts are from what the stipulations are, what the sort of fantasy is. Excuse me. Frog says, my favorite type of aliens that have been spotted as of are the Mothmen, which some speculate come from space or another dimension. Insane. Yeah, so these are definitely things that have been picked up like in the pop culture. I have seen some reports and some scientists, prominent scientists, who have worried that some of the cultural effects that have been developed based around UFOs and the culture that has developed within that community to actually potentially be harmful to some UFO research and to actual data collecting, because people will describe things that are based on a sort of a shared culture or a familiar experience, and will describe encounters that way, or there will be a certain particular thing that is looked for in the data that they collect because of these biases that we have based on the culture of sci-fi and of how these encounters have been developed by the people who've told them. So it's interesting, it's exciting, it's wrought with plenty of questions. So we're still looking into everything. We're still trying to understand it. But I definitely think while it's fun to talk about all these things and what those theories could be, I would say let's hold out for the facts. I'm excited to see in hopefully late June what'll come out of it. Leona says, some people think Bigfoot is an alien species. Incredible. That would be quite interesting, especially if there's not that many of them. That would be, ooh. Annie says, if another Israel-Palestine video happens, this could be like Dislike War 2. Hope it doesn't happen. Agreed. Edwin says, we will give a colony to one of my countries to start a new micronation called the Astro-Mexican Empire. Ooh, very interesting. And what do you expect to come out of the Astro-Mexican Empire, Edwin? That's exciting. But that is primarily what we've been trying to talk about and trying to deal with is how does this board, how does this nation, how does everything that we've developed so far within the government that we've built, within the creation of us as a cultural entity, how's that affected by the future? How's it affected by things like this UFO, UAP news? How is this able to adapt and transform with the times? That's something that I've been thinking about quite a bit lately, and I think is something that's important to focus on for all micronations. So I hope to continue to develop that into future series. I hope to continue to develop that concept with you all and to ask you all what you think about that as a micronation ages, as a micronation finds its way into what it's going to be and how it's going to affect society. What is it important? What is most important for it to focus on? How does it ensure stability in times of change? How does it adapt to the necessary environment of its circumstance? So I hope that as Aeternia ages, as I age, as I get wiser, as Aeternia grows larger, that we can really come into our own, and that we can really be what is needed for those around us, for those who support us, for those who believe in us, and for ourselves, to make sure that we do this the right way, and that this isn't just something that is an interesting concept to pursue, but that this is planned pen and paper and is developed step by step in a process that ensures stability and ensures growth. This isn't something that you can afford to make too many mistakes. I think trial and error is a part of growth to some extent, but I also think that micronations are very fragile places. And so I am excited and enthusiastic to move forward with adapting and developing all the new technologies, all the new advancements in societal, cultural things that we are going to be pursuing in the future. When I made my last flag video about the beauty that you see behind me, it is important to remember that I talked about this being a new chapter for us, a new way for us to emerge into the future, and I really take that seriously. I think that what Aeternia's goals are, what Aeternia is in essence in the moment, is an attempt at solidifying something which was grown from an idea. And that's been our pursuit for the longest time, but now is something that we really have a more firm grasp on a systematic approach to. So in doing that and in developing who we are, I hope you all will provide us input and will allow us to continue to experiment and continue to grow in the ways that we see fit. We hope to provide the best for the micronational community, and we hope to make sure that everyone who supports us and believes in us feels a positive return and an effect from what they do and what they give and how they help us. So I want to thank all the members of our government. I want to thank our friends out there. I want to thank everybody and anybody who's supported us, whether you've watched 1 minute of one stream or whether you've watched hours and hours and stayed and hung out in the comments and hung out in our Discord and maybe even bought some of our notes. No matter who you are watching this, whether it be people on Earth, people in the future, aliens, thank you. It means a lot. I'm trying to convey ideas here that I think have been established by other people, but I hope we can put some of those ideas together and make a society for ourselves that is well-rounded and that feels comfortable. Advancement will always be a necessity in that. Understanding changes in cultural norms and in acceptance of other people, of other species, of our place as a society and what our duties are to that, as inherent as it is important. And I thank you all for allowing us to grow in that and understand ourselves in that. Oh, we have 9 viewers right now. Thank you guys so much. If you would like the video, it helps us a lot, and it allows us to continue growing, continue advancing things like our monetization, and continue to advance things like our land purchase. Those go hand in hand. When we get YouTube monetization, we're able to grow our land purchase. When we're able to come up with new technologies, when we're able to assist you all, we're able to slowly move the dial on how big we are, how many people are supporting us. And it's all thanks to you. Lana says, AP, you, Tiffany, and me should get together and build our own spaceship and go explore space. I agree with that. That sounds wonderful. We gotta build the Empire of Aeternia first, though. It's one step at a time, right? Because you have to have the infrastructure to safely build the spaceship in order to do that. So you have to get clearances from NASA. You have to get clearances from wherever it is that you're going to be launching from, and making sure that you have the right certifications and appropriate experience to do so. So. While we can definitely do that, it will take a lot of work, and it will take a lot of ensuring that we have what we need on the ground, the finances, the people, the expertise, and ultimately the dream to do so. So if you want to help us get to that point, if you want to help us to achieve space level imperial status, please help us to get there. It's something that's hard, and it's something that we strive for every day. The Kingdom of Annie says, do you think we should give you some land to you? Since I'm in Maryland, I think I'll revive New Mary for you. I make a flag and everything. I'm in New Maryland. I fricked up. All good. Thank you very much. Ooh, hey. Tiff's cute. She's taking pictures while we're doing stuff. I like it. We have multiple people. Real quick, I will say, I would love to talk about that. I did a video one time on states and talking about territories and people who run the different sections of a micronation, how that works geographically, what's required for that. We haven't even hit the point of developing true states yet. But I would like to. I'd like to continue to look into that and see how we can develop it. So, Kingdom of Annie, if you were serious about that, if you were wanting to help us out, if you were wanting to allow us to move forward in developing connections to people around the country and around the world potentially, please email us at aeternianempire@gmail.com. If you want us to potentially look into an alliance with you, please hit us up at that same website, aeternianempire.wixsite.com. You can go to our alliances tab up here. You can actually see it a little bit. If I jump in to the tab, you can go over here to alliances, click on that, and then boom, you are able to apply for an alliance with us. So that is something that's always growing, and we're excited to see continue to develop. And we'd love to talk to you more about the concept. Drew joined us. Hello, Drew. It's good to see you. How have you been? Lana said, greetings, Drew. Drew says, wait, who, where, what happened? We're talking about UFOs and UAPs. We're talking about the development of Aeternia into the future. And we're talking about what it means to be in the time that we're in, and how we are accepting this news, how we are speculating about what this could be and what it means for all of us. Edwin says, economic growth in the United Empire is alone, so it would be nice to have an ally. Agreed. We're excited. Edwin, have you applied for an alliance? I am excited to read your application and to move forward. Annie says, fun fact, during the declaration of war on the United Allies of Internet Troll Communist Civil War was in TFOBHB. The Federation of Butthurt Babies. I agree. I think that's actually historical fact. You'd have to go back and watch the why war is dumb video to be certain of that historical fact, but I believe you are correct. That's something that has been a large topic of debate in Aeternian Historical Society, but I'm curious to see the final outcome. Leanna is very versed in Aeternian historical information, so we might have to ask the expert on that one. Victor Von Doom said, hello, I am also in the process of establishing a micronation. I really like the videos I've seen released by you thus far. I agree with you. Micronations are absolutely stronger together. Agreed. It's important to develop that, but as well it's important to develop that based on your specific needs. I think a lot of the time people think micronations stronger together make an organization. Just make something and put them all together and have them just sitting there. That doesn't necessarily equal a better outcome. It's like cooking, you know what I mean? If you get just a whole bunch of different ingredients and throw them together, that doesn't necessarily make for something that's appetizing. You have to actually carefully select which ingredients go where, how long they're cooked, how long they're added to each other to make some beautiful chemical reaction that tastes wonderful and that helps us to learn more. So when you are developing alliances, when you're developing your nation, it's really important to consider what it is that you need in order to do that. But that's a great point, Victor. Edwin says, "Well, I have to go, but it was nice to watch the stream. I liked and shared the video." Thank you so much, Edwin. That means a lot. Helping us in that way is huge for our growth. So you guys have been helping us to keep up, and I appreciate that. Lana said, "Greetings, Victor." As well, greetings, Victor. I really liked your question. I'm curious to talk more about the subject. Please let me know. What are your thoughts on this whole situation with UFOs? What's your thoughts on, micronational alliances and how organizations work? There's the YAMO thing that everybody talks about in micronationalism that I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about, so I'm interested to know your thoughts. Kier McClum says, "I am so incredibly confused. Unrelated question. I have a micronation of my own, and I was trying to establish connections with you, but I was confused by your Discord suggestions." Sure. If you would like to contact us, the best way, if you're wanting to just generally talk, eternianempire@gmail.com is the best way to do that. I would highly recommend it. That should be written in the description of this video. You can actually check out our email there. As well, you should be able to find a link to our website if you're interested in applying for an alliance with us. The big thing that I always tell people on streams is that we are looking for people to help us create content, to donate content to our channel. So if you want a potential alliance, that would be a great way to build one, and that would be a great basis for an alliance, is for us to establish some consistent schedule with a nation in which they could deliver content to us, and we could upload it for our growth and development toward monetization. So as we do that, I want to continually ask of all of you out there to think about that. If you want to apply for an alliance with us, please do so with the understanding that making an alliance based around the production of content would be huge for us. So that would be the best way. Our website, if you want to know the official URL, it's eternianempire.wixsite.com/imperial market. If you want to just Google that, however, it generally comes up within a Google search. It is a Wix site. So Eternian Empire or Empire of Aeternia Wix site that you should see. I hope that helps. Kieran Klum, I hope it helps. And please let me know. I would love to hear from your nation, and I would love to develop ties to you and see what your nation is all about. Leanna says, "Greetings, Kier McClune." Frog Sauce says, "Hungry George." Jaya says, "Will Eternia have a space program?" That is a fantastic question. So I think one of the biggest things in micronationalism, if you're trying to do it in a realist way, is never to jump the gun on stuff. So don't promise big grand things if you can't deliver, and that's something that is hard for a lot of micronations. It's hard even for us at times because there's so much that you want to fulfill and you want to be able to achieve for people. But the largest one of the largest complaints that people have about micronationalism is ridiculous land claims. We've made a video about that, talking about what people will say, "I claim all of Antarctica, I claim Beer to Will, I claim," all these different places. If you actually live in a place and can establish population there, you have the potential to claim that. I personally believe in respecting claims that are based around purchased, owned property and property that is developed under the name of someone. So even rented properties could apply under that definition. But in similar, talking about space programs, talking about big expansive networks, people say in our micronation there are no taxes, but there is 100% fully funded college education. College is free. There's everybody has perfect health insurance, and it's like, well, that's fantastic. but what is it that's going to provide that income for you? How do you actually do that? Can you actually afford to do that? Because all of those things have a budget. Space programs have a huge budget. So yes, while we do want to create a space program, we want to develop the foundations for a solid and successful, realistic space program before we would get into that. That means having the personnel who can be specifically have their job be specifically based around development of that space program. That would mean having the infrastructure necessary to be able to launch at greater and greater scales for larger and larger missions. That would mean exhausting lots and lots of money in trying to get people to purchase investments in that industry in and of itself. So that's starting a whole new network of industries within Aeternia that as of right now aren't feasible to be developed in the short term. However, we are going to be gearing up our economy to do more and more advanced projects like that, and I think you're going to be quite surprised with the middle steps. You think that that's the next technological step for micronation, right? Oh, well, we're trying to be like these macronations. We're trying to do all these different things. Let's go from 0 to 100. Let's go just like the macronations are to space, right? But that is something that if you're trying to do successfully is very, very hard. There are many macronations all around the world who have never had official space programs for that reason. It is incredibly hard and costs a ton of money to be able to think about starting a space program. So it is something that we're continuing to develop, but let's look forward to the spaces in between. Let's look forward to the industries that we are going to be developing. We are moving into a technology sector, so that is one of the first steps to moving towards something like a space program, and that's something that I'm incredibly enthused about. Real quick, I am going to jump into some more comments, but I will be back. Leanna says, Frog says, Hungry George. Jaya asked about the space program. Annie says, blank paper. Yep, sure do. We definitely might be hitting up some paper industry as well. Kim Clome says, thank you. Leanna says, one of my neighbors used to work for NASA. Maybe I get him to help build a spaceship. Absolutely. That would be incredible. Frog says, Attorney in Space and Aeronautic Administration, ASAA, perhaps. That's pretty cool. But would it could be pronounced like ASA? ASA? You know, I don't know that one works that well. You could call it ESA, Imperial Space and Aeronautics Administration, ESA. I kind of dig that. Unless that's already something else. It might be like Israeli or like, Iranian, FLD says, my name is spelled in a weird way. Ooh, that's pretty cool, Nathan. I like that. Oh, it's actually just like spaced out. I love that. That is very cool, very creative. Kim McCollum says, I sent in my form. Check it out whenever. Hey, thank you so much. I am excited to see that. I actually have had a number of applications for Alliance that I've been needing to get to, and that I hope to get to, if not tonight, within the next couple of days. Like I said, tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm super excited about it, 23. But until then, I will be trying to move forward with some stuff. There's going to be a ton of stuff behind the scenes that we're developing. Oh my gosh, you guys. I want to actively show some progress on that, but I don't want to do it if it's just going to be little tidbits here and there. YouTube likes us to make videos that have consistent topics and try and stick to that. You guys seem to like that, so that's what I'm trying to do. Is there are a lot of little projects that are going on, some here and some there and some here and some there, but I really want to be able to show off a completed step-by-step thing. So there's a lot of footage we have of different things that just aren't fully put together and edited yet. So as we continue to develop these programs, there will be videos coming out associated with them. But remember the programs that we've been doing. They're going to be relevant. They're going to come up soon. The boat. We have developed the start of our Navy, our own flagship. And I guess not Navy, because Navy sounds militaristic. But we have started our own fleet, our own seafaring fleet, something that will start off in a small vessel that I've developed, and we have built in Aeternia, and is continuing to be developed right now. So stay tuned for that. As well, we have developed optics programs, laser programs, things we have worked with in small scale, in varying intensity. But there are other things which we've developed quite a bit in. One of those is in our metal melting, and we are going to be continuing to step that up in quite a major way. So I just ask everybody to look out for that. Victor Von Doom said, I actually have a friend who I think would be interested in assisting with the space program. He's made rockets more efficient. That's fantastic. I would love to hear about that. I know there are a ton of people in the space and rocket industry, and I would be excited to talk to any of them who are interested in helping out at some point in the future. Right now, we love engineers and physicists and chemists and biologists. All STEM people are welcome and encouraged to be a part of Aeternia and a part of the micronational community, because it's important. There are a lot of steps in between here and space, and it's not just for development of space stuff. There are important technologies and efficiencies that could be applied to micronationalism that can just make it a lot better and a lot easier to grow. So we are continuing to reap the rewards of what we've invested in, and we are continuing to invest more. So people like Tiffany assisting us sometimes is a fantastic thing, with being able to create some of the things that we do for you all. Myself, the background that I have has been a big assistance in that, and then the other people that have continued to like guide and direct different efforts with that. Multiple things. Kieran McClone says, happy early birthday from Iralab. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So real quick, we have Nathan saying, UAP, let me on the technology industry. I want to get involved with the technology revolution in Aeternia. Absolutely, and I'd love to talk more about that. Real quick, we have 12 viewers. Thank you guys so much. If you could like the video, that helps us out a bunch. Also, the more viewers we can keep in the stream, the crazier the stream will get and the more watch time we'll get. Hey, so we got to keep it up. We got to get into that monetization level. We're getting there. Lana said, greetings, Isaac. Drew said the same. Frog says, I like Issa as well. Agreed. I think it's a pretty good name. Kirma says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Victor said, happy birthday. Thank you so much. We are getting there. Leanna says, has anyone passed me on the aristocrat board yet? Not yet. Leanna has been the reigning first aristocrat for months now. This is exciting. This is something that is a great achievement for our community. We have had 2 different first aristocrats at this point, and there may be a shift again. This is the second first aristocrat we've ever had, and this trend I hope will continue and grow in competitiveness. It's a part of our culture now. It's a big part of our industry. It's a part of making Aeternia what it is. So I appreciate all of our aristocrats, and I appreciate people who are continuing to push in support for our cause. Nathan says, Eternian Show episode 6 is work in progress. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Nathan. I know people are going to love to see the updates and the news coming out about it. Ryan says, call it a Coast Guard. But even that, I feel like is again kind of posing a like defensive, that there is some militaristic front that we would be putting on it. Even a Coast Guard is still like a branch of the military. We're not expressing any militaristic interest. Frog says sea stuff. Yes, sea stuff. Leanna says, greetings, Ryan. Nathan says, AP, I'm decent with programming, so I can start some Eternian programming things. Absolutely. I have actually a lot of requests for that. If we could ever get into developing that more, I would love it. Drew says, FLD, we have a gaming department in Eternia already. Want to join? Drew says, it's for everything. Hold up. Nathan says, and as I make more programs with Eternia, I will improve with programming. Absolutely. Drew says, it's for everything programming, but mostly games. Nathan says, oh, I forgot. I'm not into programming games, by the way. Also, when are the games coming? Agreed. Bernonium says, hello. Kingdom of Annie says, in your Israel-Palestine video, I think you confused East Greenland to Greenistan. I also told you to roast them. Oh, okay. I appreciate it. My bad. A retraction on East Greenland. It was actually meant to be Greenistan. But we will talk about that. Or it might be East Greenland instead of Greenistan. Whatever it was, my apologies. Recorrection. We will figure it out. But we can roast them. We can hit them up. Victor says, I am an electrical engineer as well, but like you, my interest lies in all STEM programs and research. That's fantastic, Victor. Tell us about your electrical engineering hobby as well. Not just hobby, career, I suppose. But tell me about your interest, your passion in it. Electrical engineering is a fascinating field, and it's something that's ever growing and ever expanding, especially with um, how digitized our world is today and continues to be. Drew says FLD Unity Coding Studio hates me. Ryan says call it a humanitarian armada. Why are you making it worse? Worse, Ryan. Nathan says oof. Victor says excited. Excited to hear about the sea vessel you constructed. Keep us all posted, please. Absolutely. You can actually go and check out the first video of seeing that build previously in the thing. We have one called something like building a boat, building a vessel, DIY PVC boat or something like that. So you guys can check that out. Drew says, "Ooh, yes." So we will absolutely keep you updated. Excuse me. One of the things that's crazy about these live streams sometimes is how incredibly the viewership fluctuates. I don't know if that's actually accurate to how quickly the viewership is fluctuating, but it'll go up from like 12 or like 15 to like 6, and then it'll go to like 21, and then it'll go like 8, and then it jumps around pretty heavy. But the point of what we're trying to do here, and the connection that all of this has, and in all of the talk we've been having about both these UAPs, these UFOs, and with the technology that we're developing, is that there is a need from micronations to become more self-reliant, but also by the general community to have more applied in the way of technology and in the way of advancing our understanding of what we can do as individuals in that regard. So there's a lot that I want to move forward with in that. There's a lot that I want to be able to hopefully teach and to explain and to move forward with as we design these projects and continue forward. Yes, so the last video that we made on the boat building, the first video as well, is how to build a PVC boat, seasteading part 4. Yep, that's absolutely part 4. Did we have 3 other seasteading videos? That's crazy. I didn't know we had 3 other seasteading videos. If we do, that's crazy. Ooh, also we have 10 viewers. Thank you guys very much. Again, if you like the video, it helps us a ton. Please like the video. Please hit that bell notification. Please subscribe if you don't already know. Please jump in it. We're trying to create a country. We already have our money. We already have our flag. We already have everything we need. We even have land. But we're trying to get a larger plot of land. We're trying to get something that is more defined for Aeternia and allows us to expand on our projects. So we are moving forward with that. Leanna says, it's amazing that the richest Aeternian is transgender. I agree with that. I think it's very cool. And it's not even something that, was developed in mind. It's something that has truly come out of the support of our community. And I think that's what's incredible about it, is that someone like you, Leanna, has chosen to support us in such a great way. And I think it shows a lot about who we are, that there is quite a bit of representation within our community. And even not being a democracy, there is still a lot of openness for that and encouragement for continuing to grow our community and allowing the people who are a part of our community to become the face of our community and to represent that more and more. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people to come into our government, to continue to make content for us, to help us to grow, and ultimately to benefit that in our experiences, and to push forward with the connection that we have to everyone and to our community, especially making that feel valued to them. It's all because of those who have put in that extra effort up front, those people who are actively contributing to us every minute of every day, and that's the people we especially want to show off. So thank you, Leanna, for being our first aristocrat, and our first transgender first aristocrat as well, and only the second ever first aristocrat. I want to thank Stephen Vince and Gray Mare, the masters of the House of Treasure and House of Others, respectively, and I want to thank Nathan as well. He's a press noble in the house of others. But yes, all of those people have been incredibly helpful in growing our empire, and especially Nathan with our social media, both our Instagram and our Twitter are being actively run by him, and he has done a fantastic job in helping us grow that. So if you like the posts that we've been doing on them, thank him. Lana says, Ryan says, call it a peacekeeping and humanitarian armada. Ryan, you gotta chill with the it's fine, but we're also attacking sort of mentality. It feels like a weird, like badly constructed Trojan horse that has like guns sticking out of the sides of it. Like it doesn't seem like the best way to go about it. Nathan says, I mean, when I get a job and make money. I'm gonna pull an Elon Musk move and become the richest Eternian and rise from the ashes like the phoenix. I believe in you, Nathan. Also, you wouldn't be just rising from the ashes like a phoenix. You would be literally coming up on like everything. Like you already are a member of our government, a high-ranking member of our government, and then you become the richest Eternian. You would be hardball, and this would be interesting. No first aristocrat has ever been in a government official yet. Stephen is pretty dang close, but nobody has ever, since the aristocrat board has been established, nobody from the government that I know of has been first aristocrat. So this is incredible, and I hope so. I hope to see that day. Lana said, aliens are real, changed my mind. I don't think I could. It's a hotly contested subject by academics, by people in the community. It's tough. It's really, really tough. And any science, especially now with the footage coming out, I think there was a ton of stigma around talking about UFOs, talking about encounters that people had, stuff like that, because it feels very pseudoscience-y. And so having actual government officials come out allows the scientific community to have a little bit more of a breath and a little bit more wiggle room as far as what they can say and what they can show professionally as their opinions on those matters. So that's huge in and of itself, and I think that's a big part of what is going to allow this to become a greater and greater endeavor. And I want to thank you guys for helping us to do that. So yeah, I can't change your mind, but I hope that these papers will convince me more and more of your beliefs. Ryan says that's how they describe Starfleet in the Star Trek movie. Interesting. That's weirdly dark. I didn't know that. Starfleet do be attacking people. They do be. They sure do be. FLD says Phoenix will be my nickname when I get number 1 on the board. Also AP voice chat possibly. I want to explain my opinions on aliens. Can you hit us up in the comment? Like I'll read them. I don't know. I'm kind of chilling. We'll see. I don't want to promise it because I am just chilling. We will see. Lana says my favorite TV show is Ancient Aliens. Ryan said Ancient Aliens is a white supremacist show. Ooh, interesting. That's a unique take. Like on the History Channel. Like you think it's legitimately like funded and supported by white supremacists? Is this a hot Ryan take? Ryan does have some hot takes, but also some controversial takes. Nathan says History Channel went from history to aliens. Agreed. And according to Ryan, to white supremacy. But let's hear him out. It is like a big TV channel. Like, you know, there are other big TV channels that also seem like weirdly on the line. You know, like Fox News seems like kind of on some confusion. But it is interesting to see Ryan go hard on the opinion that it's Ancient Aliens is a white supremacist show. Ryan says, descended from a tradition of pseudo-history known as Ancient Aryans. Oh goodness, Ryan's trolling. Okay, Ryan's drunk on the stream again. Liana says it's not a white supremacy show. I don't think it is. I was really curious to hear Ryan's take on it. He has just absolutely viewed. So that's fallen apart, but we do appreciate Ryan's time on the debate called Will Ryan Just Make a Punchline Out of It? And the answer was yes. Bernonium says, I wish I could express my views in the micronational community without being unpopular. Well, I think that's a part of developing who you are. I would recommend that you should evaluate your views and try and understand exactly what it is that you want and you want people to interact with you on. One of the hardest things to do as a member of a political community in any way is to understand that many times there is going to be a popular opinion on a subject, and if you do not ascribe to the popular opinion on that subject, that's okay, but you do have to understand that will severely affect you politically. It may be important to try and understand why those people believe the way that they do, and how you might be able to work with and manage their beliefs and their desires effectively. Because as a nation, what you're trying to do is express to people that you will be able to meet their needs effectively. And if over half of the world population believes something that is antithetical to your beliefs, that might make it hard for, if every 1 out of 2 people you meet will be opposed to your nation based on some long-standing belief it has, that may be difficult to oversee in the development of your nation. So your views are your own. They are important for you to develop to the fullest, but I highly recommend that you take a very open look at what it is that your views are and why you have them as you go into developing the micronation, because bias can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Your experience and who you are can be great to helping you to understand other people, but at the same time, if your opinions, if your beliefs are so tight and so important to you, held so closely to you, that you will put them over helping to more accurately represent the people that are supporting you, then I think you may start to have an issue in your nation. Because it really is something that you're making for other people. Your nation shouldn't necessarily just be about your views and what you want, but also about what the people who support you want. So that's something that's tough to deal with for anybody who creates anything, but especially for someone who's creating a community for other people to live in. Ryan says, I wish it's not a hot take. The show says that the ancient structures built by non-white people were done by aliens. That is an interesting take, Ryan. Nathan says, alright, so I'm a Christian. In the Bible it says nothing about aliens. Then I do believe there's extraterrestrial life. We have proven there's small life cells on Mars. Have we though? I don't think that that's necessarily true. I don't think we've proven that there's any life on Mars definitively. Jaya says, can I be honest with you about the aristocrat board? I think it's a fun way to bring together a community and an interesting investment, but I wouldn't call them the richest yet. I call them the richest in imperial notes, which is true. The aristocrats are people who are supporting our currency, the imperial note, and they are, as of right now, the wealthiest people in regard to that note. They have more of those notes than anyone else. They have collected those, they have purchased those from us, and are holding those as a sign of their success and of their reaching that pinnacle, that place in our community. So that is an investment that they have made. That's something that they have purchased to be able to show support. So they are the richest in our community as of right now. If you think your nation is richer and would like to invest in our imperial notes, in our currency, in our economy, you can. The aristocrats are not necessarily just people who are Aeternian citizens. They're people from all over the micronational community. The Empire of Aeternia is interested in purchasing imperial notes. We've had people from other countries purchase imperial notes and support us. So this is something that is happening all across the micronational community. And while I can't say that they are the wealthiest in the micronational community or anything like that, I can definitively say that they are the wealthiest people in terms of imperial notes, in terms of people who have official imperial notes that are signed off on by the imperial government. That is an accurate statement. Because we just have records of it. Ryan says, I'm not joking though. Nathan says, do I believe there's human-like aliens? Possibly. Ryan says, did you not see the recent video on pseudo history I sent on Nick's Discord? I did not. I do not keep up with it that hard. Nathan says, also I mentioned Christianity as my background from what I know. That's pretty cool, Nathan. Leanna said, angels are considered aliens because they are not from Earth. Makes sense. Jaya says, the US dollar is still more valuable than Eternian notes. Well, it's interesting. We have peg more valuable, yes, absolutely. So it's interesting because as far as value itself, we consider it one-to-one in value with the US dollar, but you're right. The US dollar has more spending power than the imperial note. And that's something that is big to talk about in economics and something we'll continue on in the future. But you can buy more stuff more easily with US dollars than you can with imperial notes. But that's not that crazy a thing to imagine because that's not such a big deal because there are plenty of nations all over the world that their currency does not have as much spending power as the US dollar. So that's something to consider. But we are still on our way. You know, our currency is doing decently, and I think we should be proud of it. Vernonium says, I already have my views developed though. That's fair, but at the same time, when people become a part of your nation, as your nation continues to grow, you may find that in order to have people support you, you have to adapt certain views and certain parts of your creation to fit the people who are going to be living and tending to your society for you. Jaya says, Leanna, maybe. Victor says, I will follow up with you via email and also plan to fill out a proposal form. We can talk about science there too. Keep up the great work and enjoy your birthday. Thank you, Victor. I am excited to see you and I can't wait to talk to you more. Vernonium says, citizenship is free in Vernonium. Congratulations, Vernonium. Leanna says, like I said before, I've seen a UFO, I've seen aliens. Convince me I'm wrong. Makes sense. Frog says, is heaven a planet? That's an interesting question, and I guess an interesting philosophical debate at that. Bernonium says, depends on what you classify as a planet. Planets, I believe, are classified as like rocky masses, or even just dense matter, dense masses that orbit the orbit planet, that orbit stars. Excuse me. Stars being, well, satellites. Planets are satellites, large, matter satellites that orbit a star. Vernonium says, depends on what you classify as a planet. Hello. Oh, excuse me, guys. Hey, everybody. Okay, so we are back. Let me see here. There we go. Hello. Perfect. So Ryan says, Leanna, you were probably mistaken in identifying what you saw. Ooh, Ryan clapping back. Vernonium says, heaven is nowhere, yet somewhere at the same time. And that's an interesting concept as well. Ryan says, isn't heaven a sphere? Frog says, some conspiracy theory says that cats come from aliens. Ooh, that would be an interesting concept. How would the aliens be like a race of cat people, or would it be like just that they had cats and then they just brought them here, or the cats were a genetically modified version of an organism on their planet that adapted to survive here? Annie says, I'm still here though. Fantastic. I appreciate you, Annie. Thank you for sticking around. Frog says, my cats are part of a breed known as the ragdoll cats, which have very crazy history of the original breeder being really weird. Oh, interesting. And they're like, that guy was an alien. The original breeder was an alien, and so the cats are going crazy. Reptile says, hello, Mr. AP, just stopping in for a second. I thought I would tell you I'm trying to make a record bluegill. Hey, fantastic. I'm excited to see that. I can't wait. You're gonna grow a bluegill like as a pet and then raise it to the point where it's of record-keeping size, or you're trying to catch a record bluegill? That's interesting. Liana says, I think heaven has been classified by some theoretical physicists as an alternative dimension. Um, yeah, but that's like, I don't know. That just seems like not something that's founded on anything. It would just be like, based on development of text. Here is my thoughts on what it is. Um, it would be interesting to see that. Ryan says, like old Greek perception of celestial spheres. Excuse me. Um, interesting, weird heaven talk. I don't know how to classify that exactly. But the thing that's important for us right now is to understand that um, regardless of what was seen, regardless of what has been developed in the talks about aliens versus it being technology from another planet, is that or from another country even. Um, this is something that we now have the ability to know is around us and to accurately photograph and accurately film. Um, so we don't know how long this has been a developing issue for anybody within for anybody within our community or within the development of this research into what these craft are. For a lot of the history of the Earth, people have talked about stuff like that, and that's kind of why I think the chat was talking a bit about like ancient aliens and stuff like that. But it's incredibly interesting to note that we are just now being able to accurately, or more accurately, just try to measure these phenomena at all. So now that this is becoming a more talked about buzz, now that this is getting more developed, I think that's going to be a push for us to get further out into the stars. I think it's going to be a push for our technology to get better and better because we are proven that it can be. We have been shown, the world has been shown that there is a way to make our technology not only just marginally better, marginally more efficient, but incredibly so. That there is a much larger step than where we are now. And that could be just right around the corner. Let's see. Ryan says, like old Greek procession. Frog says, so the original breeder thought that aliens came for the first ragdoll cat, genetically modified it so the cat's babies were incredibly beautiful. Ryan said, Google celestial spheres. I'm good. I appreciate it. Bernonium says, royal contributaries and other workers are in the process of cleaning up the gates of Bournemouth. That's cool. Jaya says, this was supposed to be about UFOs, then we talked about birthdays and now heaven, and back to UFOs. Leanna says, the conversation got weird all of a sudden. Agreed. Ryan says, black and tan stuck down with the RIC. What? Homer and Bart Show said aliens, question mark. Edwin says, hey, I'm back. I had a change of plans. Hey, I'm glad to see that. I appreciate you joining us and hanging out. Leanna says, the birthday thing was okay because it's APs. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. I really am. I've been developing Aeternia for years, and every year that passes makes me more excited for where we're going, and also feel like more of an old man. So you guys are going to get to watch me age along with this project, and I am excited to see where I'm at by the time I have kids, by the time they're ready to grow up and they're developing who they're going to be out in the big bad world. So I can't wait for that, and I can't wait to walk this journey along with you all and hopefully have a lot more friends here in person with us very soon. Frog says, so basically I've had half alien cats that are in my house, and they're so dang cute. I am so proud of you, Frog. If you discover that they truly are of alien origin, please let us know, and we will have to officially check these cats to see if they have extraterrestrial cuteness. There's a meter we can get to develop and truly understand the metric to which their cuteness applies and really focus down on that. Ryan says the RIC is the Royal Irish Constabulary. Interesting. I'm glad to hear about that. You're teaching us about Irish politics and Irish government. I'm interested to know more. Brenonium says constabularies are pronounced constabulary Z. I appreciate it. Edwin says, how old is Aeternia? Aeternia is almost 5 years old. It'll be 5 years old in August, so half a decade. That is incredible for us. I'm sure there are, a lot of people who feel like 5 years is a long time, people who feel like 5 years is just a second. But we have been developing Aeternia for quite a bit and are trying to make a larger and larger mark. Now, we've only been on YouTube. This will probably be our 3rd year on YouTube, but has been an incredible journey for us. Bernonium says alternatively constables. Frog says Edwin, 200 years old. It is not 200 years old, but it would be very cool if we were. I'd be excited to see how far we are in 200 years. The U.S. is 200 years old, a little bit older than 200 years, but it'd be incredible to see the progress we can make in that time, and that we will make. Ryan says more like Irish oppression. Ooh, interesting. Facts I didn't know about. Hit me up, Ryan. Edwin says, oh wow, the United Empire was founded by my father in 1972, my grandfather. That's incredible. And how has that developed over time? How do you feel your successes and your achievements have planned out? How have they unfolded for you? And do you feel like your nation is what your grandfather intended? Or do you feel like there's something new to it that you've taken upon yourself? Frog says, don't listen to Emperor AP. He's immortal and he has made Aeternia 200 years ago. Well, that's an interesting proposition. That's an interesting concept, Frog. But I have a question for you. If I was 200 years old, how could I do this? I came back the other side. Leona says, AP, we'll have to have a live Steam party for Aeternia's Foundation. Agreed. That is August 20th, so we should be able to celebrate then. Absolutely. Frog says, during the American Revolution, in order to end slavery and taxes. Ooh, but it failed. Oh, interesting. We have a long and dated history then. That's fantastic. Edwin says it started after the Salvadorian Civil War. Ooh, tell me more about that. And what made your grandfather decide that he wanted to take it upon himself to develop his own country? He just felt like his was fractured and he had the idea for how to fix it? Please let us know. Frog says now he's trying again. Oh, goodness. Jaya said, man, he just left. Ryan says trying to end slavery by building an empire? Yeah, potentially. You just could actually do that. Annie says, this is war and we will not stand for it. 1111, thank you. Yeah, no problem. I'm very curious about what that was about. Frog says, because you don't age. Well, that's, again, a hot take by Frog, and I appreciate it. Real quick, I want to see how long we've been going. My stream actually just, hard reset, and so I want to figure out what we're up to right now. I'm going to pull away so that you guys don't have to watch my tab going off. Let's see if we stayed on our tab. Yep, there we go. I'll actually go back and look at the Micronational map for a second as a beautiful background for what we could be hanging out to right here. Let's see. There we go. Yep, and I'll just move that. Uh-oh. Zoom out. Pull that right over there. Yep. Zoom out. Zoom that way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then let's see how it looks on there. Hey, perfect. Almost got it perfectly lined up. Oop. That way a little bit. Let's check. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So while we're doing that, you guys let me know, what is it that really affects you as far as these alien developments? these UFO, UAP developments. How has your micronation developed over time? What has become important to your nation? What's changed about your nation over the course of its existence? All of that is something that I have been dying to understand about a lot of different nations, because it never seems like we stop as micronations. It feels like we're always growing. It feels like we're always changing, but sometimes it's hard to see the past of a nation because of that. So please let us know about your histories and what's been happening there. Leanna says, can we get back to talking about aliens? Absolutely, we sure can. But I mean, it's not just aliens. Like, that's the thing that I think is important, is to say that these craft, we don't know that they are aliens or not. They could be technology from just another country. We don't really know what they are yet, but the important thing to know is that there is technology that is far surpassing our own, and not just as Aeternians, but as the international community. So we have to figure out who it is, what it is, why it is, the way it is. Edwin says, my grandfather served in the Salvatorian military. He started in his backyard. Our first product was mangoes and coffee beans. That's incredible. Did that go well? How did that develop? Frog says, I could send an image of my cats in the Aeternian Discord. I would love that. Please do. And can we use them on our social media as well? Leanna said aliens, heart, and then alien face. Bernonium says, I was going to say something political about aliens, but I remembered that this is a micronational live stream. Absolutely. That's interesting to have a political take on aliens that's gonna upset micronation. I'm really curious about what the take is. Edwin says he decided to become self-sufficient at the time. El Salvador was a very unstable and dangerous place. Okay, so he felt like he wanted greater security for his family and for the people he cared about. That makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of people have a very similar feel about micronationalism currently, that, large macronations are struggling to be able to provide all of the needs that a modern citizen has. And so as we continue to look for better and better ways to improve macronations, plenty of micronations are coming up with their own solutions as well and are gaining a lot of popular support. So it's exciting to see our community develop, and most importantly, it's exciting to see that we can learn from every single adaptation that happens to a macronation or a micronation, and that helps push just one more person into a life that they feel comfortable in, into a place that they feel proud of developing for themselves. That is what is important, and that's what's necessary for our continued growth. Annie says, can you zoom into what territory you're currently in? No. Frog says, I just sent an image of my cats in the Discord. Very cool. Vernonium says, I don't want to make this stream political. That's fair. I completely understand. Edwin says, my grandfather believed in UFOs. Interesting. And so your nation developed based around, at least partially, an understanding or belief in UFOs. That's cool. And in the 70s as well. Frog says, micronations are political, though. It's making a country and stuff. That's political, because countries are political. That is true. By definition, countries are political. Jaya says, alien cat movement. Exactly. And oh man, I want to share it so bad. Can you guys please hit us up with some stuff in our social media that we can share? I want to see from your nations. I want to see from the development of who you are and what you believe. Stuff that we can share and show excitement and development for the community. If you guys have stuff that you want us to share, please at me on our Discord. Please post it in there. Please post it in a DM to me or to one of our government officials and let them know you want to see it on our social media. Please hit us up because we want it. We want to be able to show you guys off and to help to develop what it means for people to understand what a micronation is. There are plenty of people who will check out our tweets or our posts on Instagram who may not be super familiar with micronationalism, or if they are, they may not know about all the different micronations that are out there, even the ones that are on our micronational map. So trying to explain to people what micronationalism is and get the micronational community together and supporting each other in a sense is a huge deal. So that can start by you guys sharing and allowing us to share what you've put on our social media. Frog says, I don't know if you saw it, but uh, or if it cut, but nah, don't use it in social media. Um, Frog, I feel like if you post it on a Discord and you don't want people to hit it up on social media, I wouldn't suggest posting it in the Discord, because that is a social media. Like, people can just take it and run with it there. So I'll respect your thing. Like, I won't post it if you don't want me to, but anybody can just take that if they want to and post that. It is something you posted on a public forum. So I would recommend if there's any sensitive information in the picture that you don't want shared, that you just don't post in the Discord. Leanna says, I'd like to meet a Pleiadian. They're supposed to be in the race that the mythic elves are based on. Pleiadians are rumored to be very helpful and emotionally neutral. That sounds like Spock's race in Star Trek. It sounds like not Klingons. Spock is something with a V, right? Vulcan. Spock is a Vulcan. Yeah, Vulcans. That sounds very similar to Vulcans in pop culture. Vernonium says, I might post my opinion for 1 second and then delete the message. I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend it. If you don't want to do the thing, I wouldn't like rant or whatever and then delete it. Like, it'll just get people in a weird thing. If you feel comfortable talking about something, talk about it. But if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, just don't. Especially if you feel like it's gonna like harm people or like hurt people. Edwin says, now I have changed it under this account, and it has one video of our colony in Mexico with a sheep. Hey, very cool. Frog says, dang. No, it's just a picture of two cats snuggling. Wait, so then why can't I share it on social? I'm so confused. Annie says, did you know about Everland? Maybe a little bit. I think I'd heard the name. But hit me up. What's going on with Everland? As well, right now, our subscriber count is incorrect as of the moment. I can update it pretty quickly, but we do need to update our subscriber count because we have actually grown quite a bit. We are now in the, what was it at, 256 at that point, 1256 at that point, and now we are at 1280 something. That's incredible. We are at, let's see. 1286. Hey, so we're almost to 1290. Thank you guys so much. That's incredible. Let me see what our analytics are right now. Give us an overview. Ooh, our views potentially going up a little bit. Our watch time hours potentially going up a little bit. Very, very nice stuff. And I appreciate you guys helping us to get there. It's always been tough, but we are slowly moving. Right now we're at 2534 public watch time hours. That's something that has dropped us quite a bit. We were for a long time getting into the 2600s. Last time we made a big announcement about it. We were at 2626. Now we're at 2534. So if you guys want to help us to continue to fight back and get our watch time, get monetization, and move forward as a channel, please definitely help us out by sharing these live streams, by getting people involved, by asking people to just hang out with us and continue to talk. If you have it on in the background, it helps, you know. Frog says, dang, that's just, Renonium says, message retracted. Annie says, Everland is just a dumb role player that we just don't support. Delphia makes videos about them. Interesting. I'm sorry to hear about that. Lana says, since everyone... Ooh, bless you, Tim. You okay? Lana says, since everyone changed the subject, I'm still working on my suit against the government. Good luck. I hope it works out for you, and I'm curious as to more detail in it. So right now we have, like I said, 2,534 watch time hours, and we need 4,000 to be able to get exactly where we want to be. And that's tough for us. That's, you know, a long ways away. But at the same time, it's something that we've gotten better and better at hitting, and better and continuing to grow. You know, for a long time, we had no control over how much watch time we got, how quickly we could grow, how quickly we could develop, and so it wasn't even considered close at any point. For us to be starting to reach up into monetization. But now we have the chance. You know, now there are these fluctuations which do affect our public watch time hours, but we are nonetheless still growing. And as we get into those bigger high points, it jumps us up significantly. So anytime we take a little notch back, we'll get an upswing and we'll move, you know, 2 or 3 notches forward. And that's what I feel ultimately excited about, is that this last, you know, tip back is not as far as I would have expected. There becomes a certain point, you know, where a channel gets large enough that their fluctuations start to become larger. And I think, you know, the regular support of our community has shown that our kickback hasn't been as crazy as it could have been. And I want to thank everybody for their continued support in that. Leanna said, tell Tiffany bless you. Leanna said bless you too. Tiffany said thank you. Amy says, we have a playlist of there on videos called Everland Cringe Ultimate Edition. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear about that. That is crazy. I would say that, yeah, the biggest thing for us right now as Aeternians really is to be able to hit this monetization. It's something that, as we have invested so much time and energy into the development of our channel and updating you guys on what we're up to, it's hard for us to continue to compete and keep up with all of the things that are growing and developing on YouTube and the Micronatonal community and in Aeternia itself, without the support from that monetization. You know, finally having that point where we hit, this shows that all of our efforts, every time we make a video, every time we post something out to you guys, every time we hang out on this stream, that it will give you guys a great opportunity to help us out just by watching. You know, all the people who have been supportive of Aeternia but who haven't actually been able to participate in our economy monetarily will be able to do so at absolutely no cost to them, other than their time, you know, other than the time that they were already spending hanging out with us. So as that arrow ticks closer and closer to the right and moves us more and more toward monetization, I just want to continue to thank you all, because I know we're going to get there, and I know that we're going to get there pretty quickly. It's just waiting for that next big thing to knock us over the edge, and it's only a matter of time. Even these streams like this that, you know, fluctuate up and down, we still have a good bit of watch time that comes out of them. So the longer that we make a stream, if we make a stream 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, that is a multiplier on how much watch time we have. And that's ultimately the big goal for us, right? Is how crazy could we make streams until the point where we actually have, you know, large bursts of watch time that we're getting off of each one. And how effective can we make streams so that people watch them afterward and go back and watch them and go back and reference them? I would really like to see that from you guys. And I'd like for us to be able to have larger conversations about things that may have already been in a stream. So if you guys are interested in having more updated information from different streams that we've had, if you've watched a stream of ours before and said, oh man, I want to talk about that topic, but AP already covered it and he's not covering it anymore and that sucks, bring it back up. Let's have a live stream about it. If you want to be interviewed on this show, if you want to be interviewed on any other show that we do on the Aeternian show, please let us know. If you want to talk about your nation, because we want to, or about anything, about, you know, aliens, about micronationalism. We want people to create content. We want people to express themselves here, and we need the donations. It helps us to move toward that watch time, and it helps us to be what we want to be for all of you. So we're trying our best, and we're doing well. But every little bit helps to try and get us right over that edge. It's a hunger at this point, because we can feel how close we are to this absolute stability, this place where we may not be at the pinnacle of our growth yet, but we will have hit a point of no return. We will have hit a point of absolute stability to where Aeternia won't fail. Aeternia won't fall apart because it has consistent revenue that it can pull from. It may not become the biggest tree in the garden right away, but it will be something that is ever growing. Leanna said, cool, I'll check them out. Annie says, so Leanna, did you check them out? Vernonium says, I did. Leanna said, I will tomorrow. Vernonium says, they jacked the Sealand flag. Annie says, yeah, they did. Annie said, their videos get so much hate. Ooh, I'm sorry. And it sucks that people are hating on other micronationals. I mean, if the micronationalist is someone who is causing problems, I think it's fair to, dislike that person. But I think the best way you do that is just to not support with them and not engage them, because harassing other people on the internet, going after them really makes the micronational community, no matter what opinions or what nature you are in your beliefs, feel like the community is toxic against you, because there will be people who behave erratically and talk down to others who are of one opinion set, and then that makes the other opinion set think that is the way to appropriately behave to one's debate partners, and so they will go back and forth and continue to speak ill of each other like that, and it sucks. It's not cool. I recommend that everybody try and participate in groups and communities that they feel supported in, and to just disengage with those that they don't. Don't go out of your way to try and harass them or destroy them or anything like that. Just leave them be and move on to what makes you happy. So yeah, I think there's something to be said about trying to make the world a better place, trying to make our community as micronationalists a better place, but I don't think hating on other micronationalists is the best way to go about it. Leanna says, I'll definitely check them since they're getting hated on. I want to know what they're doing and saying to get that response. Agreed. Vernonium says, how do I get in contact for an interview? Email? Yes, email would be a great way to do so. Please email us at eternianempire@gmail.com. Homer and Bart Show says, I met you on Stereo. We talked about anarchy. You did not meet me on Stereo. You probably met Gray. Master Gray Mayor of the House of Treasure has been on Stereo and is a representative of the Empire of Aeternia. So you may have run into him. My name is AP. I'm the Emperor of the Empire of Aeternia. I don't think I've had any conversations on Stereo, but I do know that Master Gray Mayor has. So that would be certainly something interesting to hear about and to see his conversation and to see how you guys develop that. And thank you for reaching out and for actually getting involved with the channel from that experience. Gray's a cool guy to talk to, and I think that him showing support for us and you now through him, through your interaction, showing support for us is just absolutely huge. It shows the effect of the internet. It shows how we're all connected. It's cool stuff. Annie says they declared war on all of Delphia's allies once. Like, why, man? Why? Yeah, I don't like the micronational warfare stuff. It's weird to go back and forth and to cause problems and issues for each other's nations. It doesn't ultimately help. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't actually further your own goals and the things that you need. So yeah, it's a big deal. And I feel like micronations aren't things that should be so easily tossed aside. I don't think they're things that people should so easily, hate or dismiss, because it shows somebody's sincere opinion about something. And that opinion may change over time, and they may develop as a person to think differently, but it does show an importance, especially if it's followed by a number of people. Vernonium says, I wonder how ROS feels about Everland since they declared war on Delphia. I don't know who ROS is, but this is a lot of interesting back and forth about micronations. I am not up to date with these micronations, and I feel like a lot of the time it's an interesting thing because I'll want to learn more about what it is, but then somebody will just describe it as, so this person declared war on this person, and then they attacked each other's Discord servers, and then it's like, okay, well, so then that's not really, like it's interesting enough to talk about, but it's not something that really advances the micronational community in any way. So it's not something that I feel like is really worth delving into for all these hours to try and understand, instead of just saying, hey, like, knock it off. It's not worth it if you're trying to make realist nations. Leanna said, battery's low, gotta go, Eternia forever, gotta go, see you, Leanna. I was about to say, gotta go. See you, Leanna. I hope you're doing well. Eternia forever, and thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. And thank you for your support along the way. Vernonium says, ROS is reunited ocean states. They didn't attack each other's Discord servers, though. They would probably be kicked out of the Micronational Assembly. Interesting. Okay, so they're all parts of the Micronational Assembly. I'm curious to see how that has developed and how it will continue to develop. Annie says, Everland is a 9-year-old, so he's a believer in 3 a.m. and clickbait videos, I believe. Interesting. Good luck, you know what I mean? I don't. This all sounds a little crazy for me. And I feel like micronations developing based around that premise and based around, this subculture within a subculture within a subculture is really hard to climb out of and really hard to find success out of. Not that it's impossible, it's just that you have to be able to have some basis that connects with other people, and if, like, shit posting, and if, attacking other nations is the way that you go about making friends, it's not a great way to do it. Frog says, Virgin Discord fighting versus Chad Minecraft invading. This is an interesting topic as well. Yeah, plenty of people make Minecraft servers and get raided all the time. Darren for Super President had Minecraft servers, got raided all the time. There are plenty of micronations who try to do things, whether it's Discord servers, whether it's Minecraft servers, whether it's whatever, and there's always problems, there's always conflicts in them, and it's because people come in and just decide to trash open forums, and it sucks, and it shouldn't be something that happens, but it is, and it's hard to monitor, it's hard to control. So I appreciate all you guys that have followed and continued to support the Aeternian Discord server and what we've done to reach out on social media. But that's part of the reason why we don't have things like an open Minecraft server, because to invest all the money and time into it just for people to raid it and cause problems would not be fun. So that's a big back and forth that we've gone on about for quite some time, and ultimately this is kind of where we've ended up with it. Vernonium says, ROS, Delphi, and I are member states. That's how ROS and I debated about the Delphian War. So how has that developed? How has the Micronational Assembly developed since your input into its ranks? The Kingdom of Vandy says, Everland is allies with another roleplay micronation called Noun. Their videos are just like Everland. Interesting. I have heard of Noun before. They have actually been in the comments of some of these videos. I'm surprised to hear. I don't remember too much about what they talked about, so they could have been a more fantasy nation, but that is interesting. Vernonium says, apparently there was a border dispute, and though it was a weak justification because there are border disputes across the earth, yet no war between them. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's a lot of back and forth politics and back and forth trying to get your way within a certain agenda or a certain meeting. So I think people trying to argue back and forth about why that is and how that's happening to get their share and their stake in whatever it is that they're arguing for is going to be underhanded a little bit. It doesn't have to be, but things like that where it doesn't make a ton of logical sense why they're creating different different stipulations and different arguments for things that don't seem to affect them directly is simply because of the politics of that negotiation, and is simply because of trying to force your adversary's hand into giving you something that is of greater value to you. And that's hard. That's something that sucks to watch, especially in such a small community as micronationalism. To see people dividing each other and stalemating each other, holding each other down for such very, very small profit in terms of the grand scheme of things, instead of working together. Frog says, if you and someone else have beef, just make a Minecraft server, get materials, and start fighting there, because it's just a better place than Discord. Agreed, but micronational wars in general, I think, are a little bit silly. Minonium says, Delphi is trying to make peace, but I don't know if it's working. Annie says, there's so many wars Delphi has been in. Jaya says, I logged in Darren's jar server during a live stream. He mentioned my username and I immediately logged off because I was too shy and nervous. I understand, but that's still great though. It's great to see you supporting a micronational YouTuber, but especially it's important to see that you are putting yourself in a position to actually help and to interact in a way that is meaningful and that is recognized. And I appreciate you for doing that the same way in our community and supporting us through our Discord, supporting us through the chat like you are. I think it's cool to be able to talk one-on-one with you, Jaya. I think it's cool to be able to talk one-on-one with all of our supporters, all of the people in the comments, and it ultimately makes for an interactive stream. It ultimately makes me understand better what the micronational community is and how Aeternia needs to move forward in that. Because at the end of the day, it is you all who I am working with. You all are my colleagues. You all are my friends. You all are the people who I am growing and learning from. So I appreciate your endeavors. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the actions you have taken to make sure that the micronational community is a good place and a cool place and a creative place and a place that is accepting of all cultures, creeds, beliefs, and orientations. Vernonium says, I've never been to war. That's good. You should feel fortunate about that. I feel fortunate that I haven't been to war every day of my life. Andy says, one of the videos showed up a message to the federal states of Delphia that declared war on Delphia. Ooh, interesting. So it was just a video that was a declaration of war. Again, that calls me back, harkens back to the Butthurt Babies Why War is Stupid video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's one of the more popular videos on the channel, one of the more silly videos on the channel, but it is hyping us up about how silly micronations can be, and especially about declaring war on each other. Even, Molossi has done it, but it does get to be too much. Renonium says, rest in PP Jar, thanks for making an ass out of our community and running with the money. Agreed. We have a rough relationship with ROS. Well, I think it's tough, Renonium, like you say, to say that someone took the money and ran. I think it's an issue where it just was something that it's a hard topic to talk about. I won't speak on Darren's situation in particular, but I'll speak in general for YouTubers, micronationalists. I think a lot of the time micronationalists get into micronationalism because of their own interest and personal hobby in it. And then as they grow, they have to make a decision of whether that's something that's still just a hobby for them, or whether that is a role that they are willing to take on to lead a community, which ultimately is what micronationalism becomes for a lot of people. So as your micronation grows and develops, we will all have to make that decision to figure out what are we willing to invest in our micronations? What are we willing to give to see our micronations support the people that care about them? And ultimately, I think for Darren, he wanted a hobby more than he wanted a responsibility, and I think that was developed successfully in the creation of his new gaming channel, which I think he feels, and I think a lot of people feel, are more fit to what his actual interest is and how he wants to develop his channel. So I think micronationalist lives change, just like everyone. And when somebody leaves the community, I don't think it's necessarily right to bash them about that either. But I do think it's important to look at the reasons that something works and something doesn't, and to understand what it is that the motivations and intentions of different people are, and to ask them about that and explain to them why your interests and your concerns and what it is that you feel may be to their benefit as they continue to chase their dreams and their interests. We all want every micronation to succeed, but we know that they won't. We want every micronation to be able to sustain itself and be passed on to the next generation, but we know they all won't. It is something that we all have to make decisions on as far as how much we're willing to put into it. And I am excited to see where Eternia goes with that. I hope that we can be an everlasting micronation. I hope that we can exist forever, and I hope that we can do that through the support of generations of micronationalists who become macronationalists in their own right in support of Eternia. Renonium says, we have a rough relationship with ROS. Annie says, Everlandus, Amogus. Interesting. Sanctimonious said yes. Ooh, Sanctimonia, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining. Annie says, oh, look who arrived. Sanctimonia. Frog Sauce says, well, this is about aliens, right? We're going to talk about aliens. We did talk about UFOs earlier in the stream, but the ultimate summation that I gave about UFOs, UAPs, is just that we have to try and understand what it is that they are. But we have to do so from a scientific standpoint. So let's not rush and try and determine, is it aliens? Is it from another country? Let's try and look at the facts of what we've seen. We've seen that these things fly at excess of sonic speeds, hypersonic speeds. We have seen that these craft seem to be able to move without much, if any, resistance in terms of radial acceleration, in terms of actually spinning and rotating their crafts in midair, in mid-flight, with the greatest of ease, with extreme quickness. Being able to pop in and pop out of not only radar but visible view within fractions of a second. All of these things are absolutely incredible feats of these devices, and we have to try and come at that from a sensible angle to be able to better measure them, better describe them, and better document them. We need to catch these things more often, and we need to be able to poke and prod them better in order to actually come to more definitive, credible answers as to what they are. Because anything as of right now is just as much a shot in the dark as anyone else's opinion. Homer and Bart says, do you think you guys will get involved with Space Moonbase? How hard can it be? Quite hard. We actually talked about that as well, Homer and Bart show. Space industries are a lot of money to get started in. Huge startup costs. And that is something important to consider when starting a space agency, a space corporation, a rocket corporation. Any space-based industry is going to have a lot of startup costs, and there are very few nations around the world who actually have space administrations right now. And that's important to note as of the startup costs for that. So space is getting cheaper and more accessible every year, but it's still something that's a long ways away for a lot of people. And so for our micronation, I don't think that is our up next closest goal, but I do think there are plenty of steps that we have along the way to that goal that we're actively developing on right now. And I think that is a goal eventually for Eternia's future, but it will be one step among many, and one that will hopefully be a larger leap into a greater stride for us. We have 9 viewers. Thank you guys so much for joining in and helping out. Annie says, yeah. Frog says, what do you think the aliens want? That is a fantastic question. Again, not certain that they're aliens. If they are foreign technology, as in technology from another country, probably spying and making sure that no one actually knows that they have that technology, which would explain how few and how rare it is to see these things. But at the same time, the most likely occurrence is that they are from Earth, just given that we haven't seen any other indications in space or reports yet of these UFOs. Now, there is more to be released in June, so potentially there will be some stuff that documents space-based recordings and information from then, but as of right now, I think the best approximation is to stay within the bounds of Earth's atmosphere for looking for the answer to this. But very quickly, at the end of June, we may get some information that will rocket us out to looking into outer space, or looking even into potentially other dimensions for what the answer for this could be. But right now, all of that is speculation and skepticism. Speculation and should be treated speculation and should be treated skeptically as we proceed. Perkle says, hello, Kingdom of Perkle. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well tonight. Jaya said, Darren seemed to really enjoy what he did, regardless of the seriousness of his campaign to be ruler of the universe. Jar helped Darren to create a community and discover what he wanted to do in YouTube. Agreed. Perkal says, hello from the Kingdom of Perkal. Perkal says, how much do you update your micronational map? We update it fairly regularly, maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But I am about to go through and do another large update of it. So know that if you haven't gotten put on the map yet, but you have created a micronational map request form, we will be putting that up pretty quickly. Make sure you fill it out incomplete, though. Make sure you accurately give enough data for us. Otherwise, we may not be able to process your application. Matt says, I ain't tripping, am I? We're halfway there. We are halfway there. We are actively moving forward to our monetization. Also, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us. We are continuing to accelerate because of you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are having a fantastic night. Tonight's the night before my birthday, and it's almost my birthday. We got 2 hours away till it officially becomes 12 a.m. in the Central Standard Time Zone, and I will be having my birthday and celebrating the continual growth of Aeternia. Matt, I can't wait to speak to you because I have a lot of exciting updates to talk to you about. Whenever you're available, please let me know. I'm excited for you and Drew. I know Drew had some stuff coming out that he was excited for. I'm excited to see his video drop, and I am excited to see you, Matt, continue to develop your business interests and your governmental interests potentially in Aeternia. I want to tell you as well that Leanna has become the #1 aristocrat in Aeternia. I'm not sure if you recall, but you are now second aristocrat, which is really hype. Leanna has made it quite a pretty heavy title now, so taking that back from her might be quite difficult. Do you intend to take that back, and how do you feel like the development for the aristocrat board will go into the future? Let's keep going. Annie says he updates every day. I don't update every day, but I update as much as I can. Jaya says, want to know how to get into the space industry? Ask Elon Musk. Elon Musk was like rich before the space industry though, and just kind of bought his way in. Elon Musk wasn't able to start SpaceX because he was the best at space development. There are engineers who work for him who make everything at SpaceX happen. He is just the person who throws money at it. Vernonium says, okay, let me just call Elon. Crap, I forgot his number. It's just 7 as many times as you can press it. Frog Sauce says, you right about that. Annie says, what about East, when East Greenland is sus and then makes a whole bunch of faces? Got him. Annie says, Amagus. Kingdom of Perkal says, we are in an election. Interesting. How is your election going? Jaya says, imagine aliens are just like us, spying on each other to learn about us, but without intervening because they actually care about the importance of the balance of nature. Agreed. And I think that if they are aliens, we shouldn't be that worried because they'd be so much more advanced than us. If they can do all that crazy stuff, why would they be coming to attack us? That'd be like if, Columbus sailed all the way across the ocean, all the way across the Atlantic, just to like step on an ant pile and then go back home. It'd be really pointless. Frog said, now, Columbus did come over and do horrible things, but just for the sake of the analogy and the scale of how much effort would be needed to do that. Frog says, where did you meet Jet, Winslow? In college. Vernonium says, our election starts on June 10th. Hey, very cool. I'm glad to hear that. Whitewind says, my girlfriend is mad at me and I don't know why. It's good to see you, Whitewind, and I'm sorry to hear about relationship troubles. But you can celebrate in the knowledge that Eternia is continuing to grow. And I hope that that helps you to find balance in your life. I hope you are able to find balance in your life, though, regardless. I think that development of relationships is hard and something that we learn throughout the course of our life. So definitely don't fret and make sure to know that you're doing what you can for yourself in the moment. Try to stay healthy, try to stay happy, and try to know what it is that you want in life and move toward that. And ask your friends and family to support you through what your decisions are, how you feel your life is best lived. Make sure you're being healthy as well. I always recommend therapy. I always recommend, talking to friends and family about how you feel about things. Just doing check-ins with people. Jet and I, as somebody mentioned earlier, one of my best friends in the world. One of the greatest things that we do is just sit down and talk to each other about how we feel and about what's going on in our lives. How what things have been conflicting for us, what things have been emotional struggles for us, and that helps a ton. That helps to balance stresses. That helps to tackle life with a smile, because even though you may be in difficult situations, you can rest assured that your friends have your back, and that you have people around you that love you, and you can show that love to other people that you have, and many people will reciprocate that, I'm certain. So just care for people, love people, and love yourself, and find people around you who will help you to do that in a healthy way. Per call says it's going weirdly. The votes keep flipping. 3 people are running for prime minister. Ooh, that's crazy. Is there anyone out in the lead so far? Can you give us any sneak peek deets on the per call elections? Annie says, A. Thank you very much. If we get one more A, it's going to be my birthday. And I'm really hyped. We have Whitewind saying, I'm working on the editing on the video for Eternia. Thank you for the inspiring words. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I am excited to see your video. I know the last video that you did was a Beat Saber video, and Beat Saber stuff for us is just hard because it's something that is going to be using copyright music, that's going to be using a lot of stuff that is hard for our audience to digest, and will be a shift for us. So a lot of the time talking about your nation, making some unique content that is of your own development and is special to you, is the thing that I feel like people most vibe with. So I'm excited to see what you come out with. I'm excited to see the editing on everything. And I'm proud of you. I appreciate you for helping to develop your nation, and I can't wait to continue to see that development. We are eagerly awaiting to see a point when we can create and establish an alliance for regular content with the Empire of Whitewind. That's something that we've been developing for a while. Whitewind, by the way, guys, have been putting in solid effort to try and send us videos, and that hasn't been that there's anything wrong with the videos in particular, other than the fact that we can't use them because of monetized content, copyrighted content in the videos. So if we were to go and try and monetize the submissions that they send us, we just would not be able to do that, and we would get flagged. So we have been working with them to continue to develop that and to make something that looks like a sustainable platform for us to be able to grow that relationship. And until then, I am looking eagerly forward. Brookhall says, I love the wall flag, and I watched that video, but the knocking was playing in different ears and it scared me. LOL, good video. I'm sorry to hear, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty cool beat. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool because I knew I wanted a knocking sound effect just at that one part of the video, but then once I heard that there was a knocking type beat, I was all down for it. That was my full stuff. And I was like, I'm going to turn this into a beat. They don't even know it's coming. Get ready for it. And I was so hyped to actually be able to mess with that a little bit and to give kind of an entertaining flavor to the video. So I'm glad people liked it. I'm glad people responded well. We had a cool, overwhelming support from the Micronational community for that video, by the way. It was a blow up. Once we started declaring Eternia is here, Eternia is serious, Eternia is ready to go, people did have a nice supportive tone. We saw other micronations on Twitter, on Instagram, really getting behind us and showing their support for us. So I have to thank all of you in the micronational community that have done that for us, that have given us a platform to help to talk about our nations and to help to talk about problems that we hope are relatable to your struggles and to your causes. So just as we take ourselves seriously, just as we continue to move forward, we appreciate and recognize you all as helping to pave that path along with us. Prakal said smiley face. Jaya said Kingdom of Prakal. How many voters? Prakal says 21. Jaya said someone winning. Prakal says yes. And then said, I'm not saying until the 31st of May. Ooh, exciting, but that's still really soon. Also, we have 10 viewers. If you guys like the video, that helps us a lot. Thank you guys. Like, for real, it really does. Sharing the video, liking the video, it helps our watch time to grow up. As you can see, we have 2,534 watch time hours. We were last month at 2626. So we're steadily trying to climb, but we need that help to get there. Per call, Bernonium says our election is Conservative Party versus Liberal Party. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. How do you feel like that's going? Do you feel like it models similarly from United States politics? Please let me know. Prakal says, so it's a secret. Bernonium says, hour. Interesting. Edwin says, 13 likes. Hey, thank you. Prakal says, 14 now. Hey, y'all are helping to grow the channel, for real. Every time we have a video that pops off like this, every time we have even just a little bit of success from our audience, it does wonders for us. And that's something that helps us to tip that needle. One day I'd love to do like a 24-hour live stream if we could, get some entertaining content out there and just have our watch time spike. I want us to hit that 4,000 and I want us to be able to find a way to do that quickly. So I am excited to jump forward to that. Edwin says, I liked at the beginning. Ooh, Edwin, one of our first likes, one of the people starting off the wave. I appreciate it. Prakal says, my best ally collapsed. I'm sorry to hear about that. Can you tell us the story of what happened? Renonium says, our political system is based on British law. Oh, interesting. So you have a parliamentary system. Tell us more about how the conservative and liberal parties have developed based around that ideology. Whitewind says, Prakal, would you like an alliance? Ooh, Prakal says, it's 15 now. Hey, continually climb then. And Prakal said, yes. Do you have a Discord? Edwin says, Prakal, are you interested in an alliance? Hey, everybody's hitting up Prakal for an alliance. Whitewind says, yes, but I hardly use it. And that is true. It is hard to reach people on Discord sometimes. Prakal says, why not? Hey, everybody's getting alliances with Prakal. That's cool to see. I hope these become strong, long-lasting developments within our community. And that's the big thing for me, right? Is that you look at this thing behind me, you look at these numbers, and it feels a little bit arbitrary to try and measure our community based on that, because we have so many people actively contributing. We have so much stuff that's going on and changing in the community day to day that it never feels accurate enough to just say, well, this is the number of subs we have, this is the number of watch time hours we have, because it's this like alive network of human beings. And so it does show an aspect of our community, but to think about how niche this subject is and to think about how much of a share of that community we're actually tapping into is incredible. There is a lot of activity per individual in the micronational community, and I think that shows in some ways deeper than in a lot of other communities. So we have a very dense, very actively populated community, and I'm so proud of us for doing what we have. Oh, we have 7 viewers. Prakal says, the Conservative Party started with the Republican Party and the Conservative Socialist Party merging recently. Ooh, interesting. And how has that developed for those different nations? Do you feel like that's something that people really understand about your nation, or do you feel like that's something that's needed to be explained more often? I know for some of the stuff that Aeternia does and some of the systems, especially that we have, there have been confusion about that, and there have been a lot of people who we generally try to like update things for. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I want to see how much watch time we have right now, or not watch time. Well, I might check out watch time on the stream. But right now, I was trying to see how. Ooh, 15 likes. Thank you guys. We have. Ooh, okay. So we have 7 concurrent viewers. The chat rate is at 4, which is solid. I guess 4 chats per minute. Playback is 147. Very nice. Almost 150 views on this stream. Average watch time being 7 minutes 31 seconds, and that's from everybody who clicked on for 1 second to everybody who's been watching for 2 hours. So that's a fantastic amount of support for us, and I think that's going to show some ultimate growth in our watch time hours. Yeah, it's something where we've hit over 12 views, 13 or 14 viewers as our top concurrent viewers. Let's see. Our top so far has been 13. So 13 concurrent viewers was the most that we've had thus far this stream. But that still is a big jump up. We had it for a good couple of minutes, and that's pretty cool for us. It's hard. Sometimes our streams will get 40 views, not literally 40, but we'll get 20, 21, 22 active current viewers, and then it'll drop down to like 3 or 4 a video, 3 or 4 consistent for a video. So the growth of this community and the excitement to which people gravitate to specific topics is really cool to watch, and I think it helps us. And now Tiffany's in, and Tiffany's joining the stream. Hello, it's Tiff. And she's pretty cool. I would like y'all to know. Ooh, there are multiple things. Everybody said, wow, 16 likes. Yeah, thank you so much. Renonium says the Conservative Party is started as the Republican Party and the Conservative Socialist Party merging recently. Oh, interesting. What was the Conservative Socialist Party like? Percal says, I'm not trying to be mean, but is per cal? Call is in... cal as in calories? Oh, interesting. Per cal. I will definitely update it. And 16 likes, absolutely. Edwin says, my apologies. You're fine. I am excited about it. Whitewind says, Whitewind has been hosting a voting for if we are changing our ideology. And we just banned the communist votes and which was winning. Interesting. So you banned communist votes, but the communist votes were winning? Then why'd you ban them? It seems like people really were hyped about the communism stuff. Why didn't you hit it up? Vernonium says, unfortunately, there's only a 2-party system. Why is that? Why do you feel like that's changed for your nation? And do you feel like that's the best system? Jaya says, imagine a big country with a system where government officials are selected randomly and can be removed from office at any time by popular vote. That sounds like a pretty cool system, Jaya. Whiteman says, hey Tiffany, what should I do if my GF is mad at me? Ooh.
I don't know. Honestly, like, if you're teenagers, they may just... you may
silly.
just need to give them time.
Yeah, agree. Tiffany gave a solid answer. Time heals all, as they say.
Or if you don't know why she's mad, you can just ask.
That's true. You could always hit her up with those question marks. I think people really vibe with that. Talks can generally help a lot. And just trying to make people understand you better and for you to feel better about what's happening. Also, our average watch time just ticked up to 7 minutes 38 seconds. And again, let me...
Wait, what was the phone?
Oh, sorry. I got you. I can go
I see it at the top.
Yeah.
2 hours, 42 minutes, 44 seconds.
Yeah, so we're updating right now to see what we're at. 9 concurrent viewers. Hey, thank you guys so much. Oh, wait, no, we jumped back down to 8. We do have 149 playbacks. Fantastic. Still 8 concurrent viewers. Very solid. Ooh, okay. So, Vernonium says, it is intended to be a multi-party system, but there are only 2 parties, but anyone can make a party if they so choose. And do you feel like, you prefer it when there are more or less parties in your government. Whitewind says, I've already asked her like 40 times why, and she says no, stop asking. Well, if that's the case, then I do recommend you like leave it be. A lot of the time, people just need time to heal and to think about stuff. So it's not always best to just keep like pursuing things really hard. Sometimes people just need space, and if she's asked you to like respect your space, that might be important. I wish you well. And I know that every situation is different, every person is different. So I think showing support and showing that you're there for somebody, but allowing them their space is honestly one of the most important things you can do. But I'm glad we're able to talk about this, and I hope you find success and happiness in all your relationships in life. Renonium says, I prefer a multi-party system. Makes sense, Renonium. It's cool to see that you have such a diverse and active community. I would ask, though, why it is, I think, who was it that said they threw out all the communist stuff? Yeah, Whitewind. Why did Whitewind throw out all the communist votes? I don't understand what happened. That it sounds like your people wanted just a communist form of government. You just ignored it. Interesting. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's not good. If you have a vote, let people actually make decisions on the vote. Otherwise, it's not an effective vote. You just ignored what the vote was. Ooh, Percall says, I, the top person so far, have the 48% of the votes. Hey, very nice. And what is that just in picking who your leader of your government is and how that works? Or is it based on your idea for what the government should be and how that works for your community? Real quick, I am going to show off, of course, our micronational map and, of course, our aristocrat board. We have, as you guys know, Leanna Taylor in first place, our first aristocrat, followed by Matthew Freeman, going down the list to Drew Freeman, Matthew's brother, Raymond Bosher, from Sadie and Reese, I think was the way that it was pronounced. It was a pirate-based micronation in the southern United States. We also have Stephen Vince, our very own Stephen Vince from the House of Treasure at our 5th aristocrat. Going down to Gray Mare as our 6th aristocrat, and Mason Kodad as our 7th. So we have a lot of people supporting Aeternia, a lot of people who have helped to create what we have here and are actively striving to make our nation the best that it can be. We have our land purchase funding here at $582.99 out of 10,000. And as we continue on through the months of summer, I know that is going to be something that rockets up. So I would like to see if we could get potentially $1,000 by the end of summer, but it will depend on how quickly we can grow and what we can do to establish that growth and maintain it. We also have citizenship. As always, if you are interested in becoming a citizen of the Empire of Aeternia, we have fairly high requirements as far as micronationalism goes for what is required to become a citizen, but all it really is some economic contribution to the nation. That can be right now in terms of monetary support. You can become a patron on our Patreon at the $1 tier to gain access to citizenship roles and benefits that citizenship requires, or that citizenship gives access to, and then as well you can pay for that through your time donating video content to us. By donating video content to us, you can access and maintain citizenship benefits in our community. And that just helps us to continue to grow and expand. Percall says, Jaya says plurality. Percall says, says, we are a constitutional monarchy. Bernonium says, I wouldn't throw out communist votes in my country even if they were winning, which is unlikely because our citizens are either moderate left or moderate right. Vernonium says, we don't have many radicals. That's an interesting political system. I'm curious to see how it continues to develop. Also, 9 viewers. Thank you guys for keeping up the views. And it really helps. You know, right now, every minute that it sits at 9 viewers, or sits at 10 viewers, or 11 viewers, is a multiplying factor for how much the watch time goes up for us with every minute that passes. Whitewind says, all right, I've officially banned communism. Why? Why would you do it? Percal says, so we have a head of state and a prime minister? Ooh, interesting. So which one are you running for? Edwin says, communism is in our government, but it is not popular. Makes sense, Edwin. Whiteman says, we are putting those who try to overthrow me in temporary custody. Why is this going so crazy so quick, Whiteman? Jaya says, why have you banned communism? Whiteman says, in our country, communism would ruin the entire country. How so? Edwin says, that might enrage your people. Jaya says, why? Whiteman says, yes, it might, but it's to protect the country. But I don't see how. What are they asking for? Edwin says, allow one communist leader in your government, but don't let them have a lot of power. Jaya says, why communism is so bad for Whiteman? Just ask me. Whiteman says, it would ruin the economy, ruins a few relations in the country. Jaya says, is before communism. I'm confused. I hope it goes well, but it does seem like a sincere worry for your nation. I'm sorry if it is such a sincere worry, because it seems like a lot of people are supportive of it in your government. You may potentially find a way to address that in the future and hopefully represent those people more accurately. Right now, we also want to acknowledge the allies of our empire, of course, the Great People's Republic of Parkistopia, which we have been allied with for a very long time, and who we had really made contact with initially in 2018. So it has been 3 years since we've had significant long-term contact with them, but we are eagerly excited about a potential future for us. We hope to get in contact with them very soon as well. And then finally, if you don't know much about the Empire of Aeternia, we have this culture section, which describes a little bit about who we are and what we represent. And then, of course, you can find the story of us, the Great Amassing, as we call it, which describes in detail a lot of our updates all the way into March of 2020. We will have another update coming soon to go from March 29th of 2020 to March 29th of 2021. And showing updates from that, but that coming very soon. Of course, then we have the governmental section of our website here, which shows the emperorship up top, the houses, House of Treasure, House of Others, and their symbols, and then as well the respective members of their governments, including Master Stephen Vince, Master Greymare, and Press Noble Nathan. As you can see, this is all beautiful art that has been done as each of the portraits for our government officials, as credited by, as needing to give proper credit to Press Noble Nathan. So I appreciate that. This is his art. It's wonderful, and it has been a great way to show off exactly what the Empire's government is, how it works, who is a part of it. If you guys are interested in checking that out, it's on our website at eternianempire.wixsite.com/Imperial Market, /government. It's in our government tab. So then you can go up here as well, go back to more, and we can hit up the Imperial Market, where you can see 3 out of the 4 things we currently have for sale in the Imperial Market, but it'll take you to a link which will transfer you to the Imperial Market on Etsy, and will allow you to see all of the things that we have for sale. So 3 out of the 4 things we have for sale so far are the Imperial Notes, which are a way to help our economy and support us, the Unity Medal, which shows unity toward ourselves and fellow micronations, and just shows alliance for that. So if you are interested in showing just your support for micronationalism and unity for independence movements, you can get that to add to your uniform and to become a part of your collection. And then the Owl's Mark, which helps to specifically show support for Aeternia, the owl being an important animal for us, and in fact our national animal, shows a support for our land purchase and in really rooting Aeternia in the foundations of a stable economic system and a stable government. So if you're interested in purchasing any of that or supporting us in any way, you can do that through our Etsy, through our Imperial Market. And as well, if you purchase our Imperial Notes specifically, that will move you more than likely onto the Aristocrat board. The Aristocrat board's lowest number is 10 notes. So if you bought two packs of Aeternian Notes, 2 5-packs, you would be tied for 7th place right now with Mason Kodat. If you bought even one pack yourself, you would be added as number 8 to our list. So you could actively be making your way up, but our list will be stopping at 10 aristocrats. So you will need to be in the top 10 to successfully place. So we have 3 more spaces available, and the list is getting longer and longer by the day. So if you want to become an aristocrat and become a part of that movement and that advancement of our economy, that is a fantastic way to do so. And it also shows off your nation, especially. If you're a nation who supports our imperial notes, if you're a nation who supports the Empire of Aeternia, that would be a great way to kind of flex your status, is to be one of our top aristocrats on the aristocrat board. Ooh, Percall says, I'm not running, I am the head of state, I'm the king. Oh, but I thought you said you had a president and a prime minister. You have a president, a prime minister, and a king? Then what's the point of the president? Jaya says, what does communism have that would ruin Whiteland? Whiteland says, the communist would spend money on the military and not the people, will try to stay neutral, but communist tries not to be and will attack others. That seems very like large claims that may not be accurate to everyone who supports communism in your country. Jaya says, I was correcting myself, okay? Renonium says you could draw some parallels to some countries that had a revolution. Jaya says, does communism say money has to be spent on the military? Percall says, the notes are cool. Hey, and says, how much for the Unity medal? Ooh, I got you right now. So if we actually go back to our Etsy shop, go back there on the website, the Unity medal is $15. So the Unity medal is $15 plus $3.28 in shipping. And if you get that, we can send it to you beautifully designed, handmade in Aeternia. That's actually Tiffany, you can see in the background modeling it. But that is something that is handmade. It's made from us. That's actually me representing it on my uniform and showing support for our great nation. So if you are interested in that and having that developed and sewn and made by us, you can absolutely buy that for $15 on our store and use it as a part of your Micronational uniform. Whitewind says, ha, knew it, I'm single again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Whitewind, but I hope you find somebody who is right for you. Jaya says, the prices are on Etsy, links in the description. Yes, link is in the description. Whitewind says, TBH, for how many exes I've had, I'm not even sad anymore. I feel like you're probably too young to be that cynical about love, Whitewind. I believe in you, and I think you'll find who you are happy with as you continue to age and mature. Percall says, no, we have a head of state, we have a king, I am the king. Oh, interesting, and a prime minister. Oh, okay. Zarya says, hey, I'm back. It's good to see you, Zarya. Thank you for joining us. We have 10 viewers right now. We are jumping up in those views. Percall says, prime minister is voted for, and the king is not. Interesting. That hits me up with some interesting takes. I have a question. Can you do me a favor, Tim? Do you think you could read the chat for us and talk for a second while I jump in my bathroom? I am a person. I do exist and have to use restrooms at times. But I do want to hang out with you guys. I do want to keep up with you. Would that be okay? Yay. Thank you, Tiff. Tiff is going to take over. It's now a Tiff stream. If Leanna's still in the chat, she's going to love this. It's a Tiff stream. Hey.
Yeah, come back though.
I will.
Zara says, hey, when is the Minecraft stream? I don't know if he's gonna do a Minecraft stream tonight, but I'm sure you can find other Minecraft streams anywhere on YouTube as well, possibly going on at this time. The Kingdom of Percal, you got it. It's like the UK. And then Frog says hello. Hello, Frog. The Kingdom of Percal says hello. Hello, Percal. Also to say, how are you doing? I'm doing well. How are you? Kingdom of White Wind says the current results for the votes is we just need 2 more votes. Monarchy 52%, Liberal 28%, Conservative 30%. It seems like you guys have a pretty broad range within your micronation. It's very cool to have all those different views. Kingdom of Percal says sorry if it takes time.
It's still the Tiff Show.
No,
Hello. Hey, everybody.
that one is popped up.
Ooh, okay. The last one? Okay, so the Empire of White Wind said one more vote needed. Ooh, exciting. So are you going to unveil it tonight, White Wind? I know, Percal, you said you were going to be waiting until the 31st. But I'm still excited to see the results of it. As well as 10:30 is getting so close to my birthday. Oh my goodness. Vernonium says, my prediction for the Vernonian elections is the Liberals winning by just a bit. Nathan said Nationalist Party. Percal said our vote is 57.1, 1923. That's our votes now. White Wind says Monarchy is the current ruling party with 83%. Ooh, okay, so Percal did release it. Well, didn't release what the different voting things are, but listed the percentages. So we are moving forward with some concept of how the Percal elections are. White Wind says Monarchy is current ruling with 83%. Congratulations. Venonium says it could go either way. Jaya says now there's no one. I declare this my stream. Oh goodness. No, Jaya, don't abduct the stream. Frog says UAP, do you play video games kind of like Civ and kind of like Fallout? Then I would recommend my most favorite game ever, Kinshi. Oh, interesting. I was going to say those are actually 2 of my most favorite games. Civ is a great series, a great strategy series. Fallout I really like for its sci-fi and its kind of quirky nature. So is Kinshi very similar? You got to hit me up. There was a bug that flew. Jaya said, oh, they're back. Nathan said, should I make my show on how to implement ideologies into a micronation? Sure. Make whatever you would like, Nathan. I believe in you. Nathan says, separate from the Aeternian show? I believe in you, Nathan. White One says, Nathan, one of my citizens are watching the stream. Now I got a fascist party rising with 10%. Oh, gosh. Be careful with that. White One says, but unveiling ruling party. Exciting to hear. Vernonium says, I think Country Clover will be a liberal stronghold and Bournemouth will be a conservative stronghold. Ooh, what makes you say that? Have you learned more about those different areas of your nation? Percal says, my channel is doing okay. Do you have any tips? Believe in yourself. If your channel's doing great, I'm glad to hear. FLD says, oh no. White One says, Monarchy wins by 72%. Oh goodness. Nathan said yes. Very cool. Monarchy is, of course, the preferred governmental style of Aeternia, and is the designed governmental style of Aeternia. But there are different approaches for different people and the ways that they are trying to create their dreams and manifest the way that their nation develops. So it's a hard, long road, and there isn't one right answer, but there are ways that make it easier for certain strategies. White One says Monarchy wins by 72. FLD says yes. Frog says it is more like Fallout, but with the city building and faction building elements. That's very cool. I really like that. Fallout tried to implement some like city connection stuff in Fallout 4 in the latest one, but it wasn't as hype as I really thought it would be. I was hoping it would be a little bit cooler than that. But we are starting to get to a place where we can wind down. We're having 8 concurrent viewers, still a lot of support for the stream, with an average watch time of 7 minutes 56 seconds. Thank you guys so much for that support, and we are continuing to grow. One of the last things that I want to talk to you guys about, really quick, Frog says extra characters in your control. Vernonium says Country Clover is a whole is leftist, but Brandshire is more of a mixed, and then conservatives will prevail up there. Just doesn't look that good. Oh, interesting. Said Frog, doesn't look that good. Nathan says, also, nationalism is slightly different. Fascism is extreme nationalism. So saying you're nationalist doesn't mean you're a fascist. Interesting. These are terms that, though, can be used and have been used in their own groups and in their own respective ideologies very, very closely. So it's a hard thing to call. Everybody said, oh, Prakal said, gotta go, bye. See you, Prakal. It's good to see you. White Wins is the last person called it a fascist party, but that is dangerous. You know what I mean? That's not good. We are going to be winding down, but I wanted to tell you guys real quick. Have you seen that we have on the home page, and I think on any page on the website? Oh gosh, I was throwing it around. We have our P.O. Box. Our P.O. Box information is right there. 56 Hughes Road, P.O. Box 923, Madison, Alabama 35758. If you want to send the Empire of Aeternia some stuff, you just mail your mail to us to the Empire of Aeternia at that address. Address it to the Empire of Aeternia, not to Emperor AP, not to anything else, just to the Empire of Aeternia, and you can address it to that P.O. Box there at that address, 56 Hughes Road, P.O. Box 923, Madison, Alabama. And that will help us a lot to be able to interact with you guys, to show off what you gave us on stream, and to talk about it. So I can't wait for that. Nathan said, see ya. White One said the conservatives are calling for a recount. Nathan said, Frog says, like the first Fallout games. Oh, that's pretty cool. Nathan says, it's always the conservatives. FLD said, first in 2016 with Trump, now in 2021 with White One. Nathan said, what's next, a Capitol raid? Oh, goodness. It is a whole issue. White One said, the Capitol is currently my house, so I hope not. Yeah, I would also hope not. White One, be very careful. And I believe in you. I hope your nation can evade the clutches of fascism. That's a really big ideological issue. So yeah, I do want to promote our P.O. Box because it's something that allows us to connect with you guys on a more personal level. You know, we get to show off things from the nation, we get to show off things that are affecting the micronational community around the world. One of the biggest things that we've gotten that actually had to be hand-delivered to us, well, the first thing we've gotten from our P.O. Box period has actually been our flag, so it's a tough one to beat. But another thing that we've got from a nation that supports us, and was actually having to be hand-delivered when it was first used, and when it was first presented to us, was this from the nation of Delvera. The Delveran flag was actually presented to us by Gray Mare when he came on his visit to the Empire of Aeternia as a citizen last year. So that was something incredible to get, and that really prompted us to want to invest in a P.O. Box and feeling that to be a great connection to the rest of our nation. So now that we have that, we really, really encourage you all to use that. Please, small things. So if you want to write us a letter, if you want to send us a picture or something like that, please do. We would be excited to see it. Jaya said Discord riot. Oh goodness. Nathan says I wish I was kidding. Nathan says I was kidding. Frog says I love Kinshi so much. There's like a bug people race you can play as. Oh, that's pretty cool. White One says okay, so conservative left and let lost popularity, but fascism rose to 22% and monarchy dropped 70 on the dot. Wow. Jaya says, "Oh yeah, I remember that flag. Yeah, absolutely." And that's something that we have been excited to talk about for a long time in our nation, and that has been a big part of developing our connection to the outside community. That made an impact on us, and I'm excited to see where we go from there. But we are going to be headed out for the night. I appreciate you all so much. I need to go and get ready to celebrate my birthday tomorrow. But thank you all so much for participating in the stream. Thank you all so much for feeling like a family and connecting with me and allowing me to represent and express myself, as we all do in the Micronatonal community. I want to thank you all for letting me be me, and I want to thank you all for being yourselves. We're going to continue to move forward. We're going to make progress for micronationalism, and we're going to get that monetization eventually, by any means necessary. Not really, but we will be making it. We will be doing well, and I will see you all very soon. Frog says, what if you were all given a forest as land so you could like make a few small towns or a city? That would be fantastic, and I'd love to talk more about the idea in the future. Frog says that would be mental. FLD Nathan says, Whitewind, if you need help propaganda, please tell me. Oh, interesting. Frog says you could have like actual people living there. Jaya says 3 hours. Wow. Yes, we have been on the stream for 3 hours, and that means a huge spike in our watch time. I'll actually, as we get ready to leave, give you guys a little bit of an update. Right now, our average watch time jumped up to 8 minutes 13 seconds, with 7 concurrent viewers, 164 playbacks. So that is a big deal, and by no means small for us. And I would just like to address that and make that point to everybody that we are moving and we are moving quickly. I'm going to jump over real quick to analytics and see if I can't see what is happening for us here. Well, we have our analytics at some point. I can go back. Oh, there we go. Now we jumped up to 815 as that. So again, we have a regularly growing chat rate. We have a regularly growing channel in general for us, and so I want to be able to show off what that means as far as watch time. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, and we're going to jump into analytics as well. We jumped to 1286, so thank you guys so much for helping us with the channel as well. Once we get to 1290, that's almost at 1300. That's getting closer and closer to 2000, so you guys are helping to make that possible for us. And then, of course, you can see if we go down to our content, I will look at the watch time that is described there. It might not tell us exactly what that watch time is. Oh gosh, it tried to open like 35 different things. Okay, and so we're at the analytics right now. We're going to go into content. We're going to go into live. And we're trying to look at that. We have 118 views right now. That's fantastic. And then if we click analytics for that specific video, it might tell us watch time. Nope, it sure won't. But it does say 28 views for the last 60 minutes. So that helps us out a lot. And again, we're trying to figure out more about this as quickly as possible. But we are slowly advancing, slowly growing, and trying to make a name for ourselves as a nation. I thank you all for helping us. I thank you all for supporting us. And I will see you soon. Have a good night, everybody. What's up?